Yay! Am I on? Whoa. I thought that was supposed to be an intro. I think I did that wrong. Hey, how's everybody doing? Where are my dang settings to get my people in here? What's going on here? Oh, here we go. There's the guest. I guess they're not here yet. They're not in the. Hey, me. I don't know. Oh, there we go. Got somebody in my guest right now. Okay. Okay. Go to add to stream. Is it that? Is that? Are you here? Are you? He's
I'm
here.
here.
Okay. Okay. Figuring this out. Figuring this out. I see Archangel. What's up, bud? Nobody else right now. Yeah, but hey, what's up, man? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Yeah. Were you able to get it around the broadcast?
Yeah, people should be strolling in here.
I was supposed to have an intro, but I don't think I did it right. Either that or it didn't accept none of the settings that I put in because I was like customizing and everything. Basically, the hour that it took me to get started, I it was doing the intro, and then I was like, "Cool, I'm gonna have a cool intro coming in," and then it didn't start.
Nice. Hey, you're
So
doing way
hi,
better at this tech than
Archangel.
I could because I haven't even.
I'm sorry, what?
Hi, Andy. Oh, just shout outs.
Okay, yeah, I'm waiting.
Guadalupe guacamole.
She was here way earlier. I don't know if she came back, but I made her a mod just because she was the first person on here, so she gets that privilege.
Nice.
Um, yeah, so we're
She
gonna
made
just
right.
hopefully just wait. We'll just wait like about 10, what, like not even 10 minutes, like five, not even 5 minutes, like just wait for some people to get here. Maybe at least I'm hoping that we could at least get 10. Don't laugh at me.
is, is Michael still there?
Who? Frauditor Wrangler's here. What's up, bud? Oh, where'd you go? What happened? Dang it. I don't know where he went. He just took off. Maybe he was like, "What? Only two people. I'm not gonna stay here." Hey, Mike. Were you able to share around? Try to get some people in here before we get started. We want to talk to you, Mike. I sent you the link. Did you see the link? I hope so, link. Yeah, we're trying to get some people in here. Trying to get more than two, because then we're just talking to each other. I don't know what happened to. I'm getting them back in.
Just a second. I'm freeing up some RAM here. Just a second.
What you do?
I
Oh,
don't know what happened.
were you slow because of your memory situation? There you go again. You're gone. What do you, I know. You got to be careful. That's why you should. Whenever, just a little bit of advice, me. Whenever you get into a broadcast, put your phone on do not disturb mode, and you'll get less accidents like that.
Okay, I should be good.
Okay, now you're back. What are you doing,
All
man?
right.
Why do you keep jumping out?
I don't know. I don't know. I killed some apps and everything, so I should be good to go now. Did you say Michael was going to join us tonight?
Yeah, Mike's down there right now. He says not much. Everybody's watching the game. What game? What game is there tonight? There's no Super Bowl. Is there Super Bowl?
Fucking Super Bowl game. Oh, it's too early to drop the F bomb, isn't it? My bad.
Doesn't matter. Today's the Super Bowl?
Yeah,
No shit.
yeah. It started like I think about 15 minutes ago, or maybe an hour ago. I don't know. It's been a while.
I'll be honest, Mike. I'll be honest, man. I have not kept up with sports like the past year because they're just not important to me. And it's not like they never were because I was, dude. I was really into sports. Like we could sit here and talk about sports all day because I was really into them. But I don't know, man. Like the past 2 years are just not important to me. They're not.
Well, see, my whole thing is this: is like I love sports and everything, and sports has always been one of those things. Except maybe in Olympics or something like that, to where usually politics stays out of it, right? And then when all this stuff started going on with the NFL and just all this bringing politics into it, I just shut it off. I couldn't do it. But
Yeah,
I still stick with college football. Love college football. They keep politics out of it for the most part. So
yeah, but the thing is, what I hate more than anything about the sports of today, like, is that the media it's leaning one way, right? And so they always do that. Like if it's like Sports Center, if it's ESPN, you know where they're leaning, so you know what they're doing with their broadcasts and stuff like that, and it's so obvious. But you're like, come on, guys, like, let's talk about the sport. Let's be about what's going on with our team, with the league, and let's leave all that other stuff, outside because I come in to watch the sports. And then
right,
the other part that makes it difficult is that the players are doing the same thing now too. Like they're putting up their political leanings and stuff like that, and it's like, oh my goodness, like I like. It's not that I'm one of those people that's like shut up and dribble like that lady that insulted LeBron James or whatever, right? I'm not about that. I'm not about shut up and dribble. It's just that what when we're watching a game, I don't want to think about you like and who you're voting and stuff like that. I just want to see you play ball. That's what I'm here for. But it's
yeah,
it's it's weird. It's just weird to be like all in sports and then see all these things that I'm trying to get away from in the sports. And since I don't have like what do you say like my investment is no longer in the championship anymore. It's about the competition. Like before, like I guess because when you're younger, it's about who's holding the championship or whatever. But it's not so much for me anymore. Like I like seeing good teams, good players play and stuff like that. So I like parity in my sports and stuff like that. So I don't know, man. It just got too much. There was too much of the outside world in the sport. So I completely lost touch with it. And like if you're out of it for a year, 2 years, you're completely out of it because I have no idea what was going on. The last thing I saw, the Rams won the Super Bowl, and I think that was like about 3 years ago. I think.
yeah. Am I thinking in the chat right? Did they play the alternative national anthem tonight too?
Two different national anthems. You see, that drives me crazy. That drives me freaking crazy. That right there drives me crazy. Like I,
It's
I can't.
ridiculous.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Three national anthems? What is two? Two different national anthems. What's the other one? What's the second national anthem? Well, like how does it go? How does the second national anthem go? Does anybody know?
I've heard it once, and it was so forgettable. I don't even remember anything about it. So whatever.
It's so dumb. It's like what was wrong with our? As a matter of fact, I actually think that we had one of the coolest national anthems. I don't know why we would need two. Like we had one of the best ones. Like it was just straight up talking about a battle. It's what it was. I didn't even know that before. Like I already thought it was cool before I knew what the actual national anthem was. But then when I actually went through the lyrics and read what it's about, it's like it's actually describing a battle. A guy was in a battle and he's looking at this stuff happening, and when he says when the rocket's red glare and the bombs bursting in there gave proof to the night because our flag was still there. He's talking about him seeing the flag waving amongst all this chaos. Not fireworks, not little piccolo peeps blowing up in the air. He's talking about our flag standing up amongst all this chaos and it's waving. That's what he's looking at. He's not looking at the flag like just like sitting there at a ceremonial thing. and just looking at it. It's he's looking at the flag in a battle. It's just so upsetting that people don't understand. If you don't understand that part of the national anthem, then you know nothing about the national anthem.
Yeah, there's actually a really great viral video out there on YouTube. It's like, I can't remember the name of it. I think it's like the real meaning behind the national anthem or the story behind the national anthem. But it's a really good production they put on. I think it's maybe 10 minutes long and talking about the battle and the national anthem. Man, it makes your eyes well up. It's just that good.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I figured those things out like on my own when I was like, well, when I was younger, I just had this craving to learn about things that, like history and like if you haven't talked to me before, like in chats or anything, I tried my hand in anthropology, which was a little bit a little bit above my head, right? But I still tried it, and so I went to different things, found out historical sites, and was like looking up stuff and just learning a bunch of things, and a lot of stuff about our country. Um, it's really cool because it's like we are still like the youngest experiment out there. You know what I mean? We are not our country. Yes, it's big and people know it, and like we're looked at as a certain like power or whatever. But if you think about it in comparison to other countries that were established before us, like Britain, you got Spain, you got like all these other countries that came before us, before we were made. It's like we're still like the youngest experiments because we're the ones who started the Constitution. We're the one who started off, this type of government, which of course is reverberated and copied throughout all over, the world now. No, and nobody else has come up with a better idea, but yet we're the bad guys. We're the bad ones. You know what I mean? I still don't get that.
Yeah, Jerry, I think Mike's needing a link.
Mike, didn't I send you one on your email? Check your email. I sent you one.
He says he don't. He says he doesn't have one in his email for a stream for tonight.
Dang it, Mike. Hang on.
Yeah, because we need Mike up here because I'm ready to trash GT tonight. So Mike's gonna have fun with us.
Oh, shit. Am I still on the broadcast?
Are you dying over there, Jerry?
I'm sorry. I decided to take a swig of my of my soda. That was dumb. That was very dumb.
Oh, well,
That was dumb.
whatever you
That was dumb.
whatever you took a hit.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious. I took a swig of my soda. It was bad. I went a little too fast. I went a little too fast. Okay. Okay. Let me. Well, I'll just put it. I'll just put it on the
Let's put it in the
on the
chat.
chat here since I didn't even get the 25 people that I thought I was gonna get.
Well, I was hoping that I invited Kfar over here. I'm hoping he shows up too because of his correctional experience too. So we'll see if he shows up.
Well, even if it doesn't, I mean, we could always just leave it up here, like as a broadcast or a podcast or something. You know what I mean? People can check it out later. You can share it if you want. I'll just leave it up.
And I'm sure he's used
Shut
to
up,
drinking
man.
his pee. He's used to being stuck in the well, and to survive in the well, he's got to be able to drink his own pee to stay hydrated. So
You guys suck. Oh my god.
I'm
Reaper
trying to
just
help you
started
out.
something. Reaper
I'm
just
trying.
started something, and she just can't. She just got it. You know what I did tell her though? I did tell her I love the lore that we're creating. I love that. I love that stuff. Because
Yeah.
we're just like we're just riffing, and now we got this whole thing about a well. That whole the whole herpathon thing, that was hilarious, dude. That was so funny. I could have stopped singing herpathon, my herpathon version of the thong song. Like nonstop. I was like the thong 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 thong.
We have a
Yeah,
good time on
man,
those streams. Oh goodness,
it's good
Miss
times,
Mandy,
man.
I'm afraid one of these times Miss Mandy's just going to have an aneurysm or something because she gets laughing so hard and wheezing and everything like that. I'm like, oh, you got to take a breath, girl.
That's fun, man. I love her laugh. I love Reaper's laugh because it's just like once they get going, and it's like it's just that type of laugh that I call it like that steam engine laugh that gets everybody going. It's like she starts going like hee, and everybody can't help it. You got to
Oh
crack
yeah,
a smile, start feeling a little better.
for sure.
See these buttons, man. I gotta find a way to make these buttons look different. All right, Mikey, let's get them in here. There you go.
Good
You're in,
evening.
Mike.
Hey,
The real
Mike.
angry vet's here.
Yeah,
The real one.
yeah, Mike. That's doing the
One that
Lord's work. I love it.
look, I've got a beard, and I mean I'm not, in the shape that I used to be by any means, but I don't look like that one calling himself the angry vet. I don't look like I'm a freaking reject from Duck's Dynasty. And he keeps going in there with different service hats on. And it's like, dude, okay, make up your mind.
I don't.
What
The
is
thing
with
is,
that?
So
yeah.
what?
What is
Good.
with all those different hats and the different ribbons and everything? I don't get it.
I don't know, but I got some. You guys went ahead and saw the video me and Josh did yesterday for the Georgia Transparency follow up and the Cookie Monster thing. And
Yes.
all right, well, I was checking the comments earlier, and it was somebody in a sock account that actually titled it "sock account." That's real friggin' original. And they were, and it was all kinds of funny shit. It was one that we were. It
Case.
wasn't the right Russell Clarence Pickron Jr. And I can't imagine that God did that more than once. I can't. And that we were picking on him and this and that. And my favorite was that we were jealous because him and Lana from J-Town Press are expecting a child.
Mm.
And I was sitting there, and when they said
biologically impossible.
Exactly, and that's pretty much what I put. If you go and check the comments, you'll see how I followed up with it. But it was really a lot of question marks. Are you serious? A lot of question marks.
Oh boy.
Are you high for having wrote that, or am I high for having read this? I was like, in no way am I ever going to judge somebody, because of, what they decide to identify as to make their life better for them. But at the same time, you identifying as this, okay, look, you may have the greatest damn plastic surgeon in Jacksonville, Florida, but that is not going to magically make conception organs appear in your body. You may have found a great doctor that turned the damn pole into a hole.
A pole into a hole.
There's not a damn organ transplant list for ovaries in a uterus.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
right.
It's not
with his criminal record and his obviously financial issues, and he already owes 13 plus grand in back child support on at least one child. Who, okay, obviously we all know that she is not going to conceive his love puppy or cub, whatever. But they couldn't adopt one either. And remember, it may be the year 2023, but they're still in Georgia. Not
well, no, if you have all that child support and another kid, the state's not gonna allow them to adopt a kid with all those rearages.
Absolutely not. And they couldn't even be put in to be temporary foster homes.
Well, kids. I mean, if there's one of two things with this commenter. It's either one, they're a supporter of them and they don't understand the situation, like meaning that they're not really into the know about what's going on there, or they are, just having a go. You know what I mean? All they're doing is adding just a little bit of something to make you feel weird about your comment or about what you're talking about.
Well, that or they've gotten, some of that that Davy Boy bitch good guy audits weed. And I don't know if they need to recall that or make more of it.
No way, man. I
But
think I think they're
thinking that Lana is going to have a baby, and by that the traditional way of conception, and then how it is birthed. Um, Anybody that thinks that is in some kind of denial that I've never even heard of. And I passed and I aced every one of my college psychology courses.
You sure did.
I'm not getting. I don't understand it. I mean, a little bit of limited denial is I considered a healthy thing, but
That's
I
I
don't
don't know,
know.
man.
I don't get it.
That's the world. That's our reality.
Regrettably, yeah.
And this is
One of those
this is
things that
something.
makes me want to move to Costa Rica and go run guns in the Gulf.
Well, this is the thing that I'm getting at, and maybe this is what the subject line is starting to develop into here. Is I've gotten into so many like different like comment sections around YouTube about different things, like police breakdowns and other things like people getting into shootings and stuff like that. And the one thing I find about everybody is that people are either living in reality and choosing to accept reality for what it is, or they're in some other alternative reality that I've never seen before. Because it's like there's groups of people who feel like this is the worst time ever, and I'm just like, are you serious? Like,
Well, that's why one of my normal questions for that is, look, what is your brand and strain of edible? Because you need to either go see a drug counselor or you need to go see a psychiatrist, one of the two. And one of the comments was asking, why did Russell, Glenn 4.7, why did he stop being a cop? And I put the correction on that shit real quick. I'm like, I put Russell or GT did not quit being a cop because he was never one to begin with. And I put on there that he resigned from the sheriff's department as a jailer / corrections officer because he was about to be fired for his attendance.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, because it's kind of like, so I can go ahead and just I'm going to go ahead and resolve my resolve that some more people are going to show up, and I'm going to say hi to me down there, and for right now, I guess it's just going to go up as a podcast. So over here to my left would be corrections 101, and I'm glad that he brought that up. Michael did the correction stuff, because he is a corrections officer, or former, or current.
Current.
And I'm fixing him to be my host of the next couple shows that we come up right here.
Awesome.
And basically what we're going to be doing is talking about not only the stuff within the frauditing, anti-frauditing community, but other things that might come up that we feel like are kind of crazy out there. And there's strange things happening, and I don't feel like I'm not living in that reality that these people are bringing up.
Well, that's because you're living in reality, because they're not.
Right. And so that's why these discussions are important. So our guest for tonight will be, do you want me to call you your name, or
just Michael, or Michael or Wrangler is fine. Hey, if you wouldn't mind, I sent you an email on it, bro. But if you wouldn't mind, because of what got me, what got Georgia Transparency and my gun sites to begin with, is because one of the places he audited in LaGrange, Georgia, one of my aunts works.
Oh,
and
okay. I see.
He did some creative editing, but
I see.
I don't want him to, if you wouldn't mind yanking, 86 in my last name off of the description, I would be eternally grateful, because I don't.
You got it, bro.
Because I'm firing back.
Uh-huh.
And he ain't coming to Austin. He ain't coming to Austin, Texas. You know that as well as I do.
I got you. No problem.
I just don't want him going back down to LaGrange and starting shit, because that
no, you're good.
Kick it up another notch into something I don't want. And because
I got you.
All joking aside, hey, that's a lot of digging for a body that big.
And this is another thing that it's about too, man. I'm over here, and I'm gonna go ahead and be
Yeah.
the corner of YouTube for our community that where people don't need to pull punches, because I'm kind of tired of playing the people playing the fence, people playing, like both sides, like no,
Well, not one.
there's
Yeah, they're not wanting to make a decision. And this
yeah.
weekend, you mentioned it to me earlier in the week about me starting my own channel, and I talked to FT about it, and and I told him he actually offered before I even mentioned it to help me, and I said, you know what, Jerry, he he gave me the same idea, and he actually and I quote said that Frauditor will help you get it done. And the whole weekend I've been sitting here trying to think of or a concept or I dare say narrative, and I've come up with one, and it's going to be with all these guys going out. It's basically going to be a veteran's view, our views, the veterans' views on what these guys are doing to our rights. Them and the Second Amendment auditors.
Yeah, that's good. That's good,
Because
man. That's
well,
good. And a
it's
lot
going to
of
be the
our
same result for both of them, for the First Amendment frauditors and the dumbasses with weapons going into police stations. Or, Afro Man dropped one this morning where him and about 6 guys are armed and in camo, in Kevlar, and they're at a jail, on the jail property, filming at like 7 in the damn morning.
Yeah,
these
they
guys,
actually
man.
walked into the jail.
No, I know what you're talking about, but they didn't. They just stayed outside, and nobody in the parking lot and on the sidewalk, nobody messed with them.
No, but
But
they
I know
actually did
what
walk
you're
into
talking
the
about.
jail.
Those 2 idiots that walked into a damn police station lobby. One had an M4 across his, he had an AR. It wasn't an actual M4, but he had an AR-15 shorty strapped across his chest and a sidearm and a holster. Both of them wearing
No,
Kevlar, and they walked into a damn police station.
no, the one you're talking about with the Afro Boy, that actually happened last evening, and it was him, and it was that grandma audits. I can't remember. It's Flex Your Freedoms,
Yeah, it was 5 or
and
6 of them.
and about an hour and 42 minutes into it, they actually did walk into the lobby for about 5 minutes.
Oh, did they? I missed that one
Yes,
because I can't
yeah,
take his
because
voice, but like 30 seconds at a time, and that's
yes,
only for about 7 seconds.
and I was watching it live, pissed because I'm like, "Where's all the fucking cops? This is ridiculous. This cannot happen."
Because
Strapping ARs on and everything and body armor.
yeah, well, me and Josh from FT have got another video dropping in the next day or two, and it was
That's
on the
good.
armed fisherman.
Yeah.
And
That dude is
oh yeah,
weird,
you're gonna.
man.
I promise, both of you will love this, and you will too. Me and Archangel, y'all will love it. But I got asked this weekend, what do I think? In my opinion, of what these Second Amendment idiots are doing. And I told them, I was like, well, they're going to have the exact same effect, and the ultimate result will be the same as the First Amendment auditors. It's going to involve more rules, more laws being passed that is only going to wind up punishing the law-abiding citizen. And but the
Hang on,
Second
Mike.
Amendment one is going to get done quicker.
I see. Oh, hang on, Mike. We got a question.
Yes,
If I'm correct, Corrections 101, didn't you say that the building shut down temporarily?
probably.
Yeah, so while I was watching the stream last night, when it was evident that they were going to go into the lobby, I immediately called that jail and I said, "You have armed guys live streaming, walking into your lobby right now." And they said, "Yeah, we're seeing that." And I said, "Where the hell are the police? This cannot happen." They said, "We don't know. We're going on lockdown." And then I called a media outlet out there who started looking into it, trying to get a crew seeing why are these guys with ARs and body armor able to walk into a jail? This can't happen. I mean,
Not like that.
not like that. Yeah. And about 30 minutes later, the reporter calling back, he goes, "Yeah, they just didn't want to give them the time of day. They thought they might be fake guns." And I said, "I can promise you they're the real guns because they had the real guns, the same guns in prior videos, showing them off,
Yep.
and
Absolutely. And them
it
going
was
on
the
lockdown would be SOP.
Well,
yes,
I have a
absolutely.
thought here. I have a thought here. It's like, look, you're running a jail, or you're running a prison or whatever. Let's not assume that they have toy guns. You know,
Oh
like
no! Keep in
that's
mind
not
that the armed people for that, whether they're COs or they're sworn deputies that are there, they're not gonna err on the side. They're gonna err on the side of caution for their side. They're not gonna give them the opposition there the benefit of the doubt that they might be fake guns, that they might be either airsoft BB guns, they might be paintball. They're not going to give them that benefit of the doubt.
yeah,
They're not going
and
to because they can't afford to. They
yeah,
have
and
to
that's
assume that those weapons are real, and every action they take after that will be a reaction to what these idiots are doing.
right,
And that's
and
one
this
thing
is
they don't say in their little videos when they talk about escalation and de-escalation is that the officers, and they're talking about the officers are escalating. No, the officers are reacting to the escalation being caused by the subject, which is the one
absolutely,
filming it.
yeah,
They're
and
not out there
that's where
making
I'm
this shit
going.
worse. They're reacting to their escalations.
Right, and that's what I'm going to this underlining subject that I'm telling you that is all around here. When we see all these shootings, all these videos of shootings and stuff like that, the context is never about what the officer goes through. It's always about the civilian or the person that they shot at. And it's like
Absolutely.
I get it. I get it. The person, like we don't want nobody to die. Nobody wants anybody to die. If you're anybody who has any kind of empathy for humanity, you don't want people to die just because they made a mistake. Of course not. But the truth is cops get shot at. People want to kill cops. People want to kill corrections officers. They want to kill people who are in the line of duty to protect the public. They want to kill them. It's the reality. And so they have to do things to protect themselves. And if that means when a situation where somebody else has a gun, they have to shoot first or they have to shoot them so that they don't get shot, and I have no problem with that. I don't know why this is something that people can't understand about these situations.
And
It's
they're
like
not going to, and I don't, in corrections, I'm not sure if you're, former military or not, but, and that's one of the things that people don't understand, that where you see these poor beaten down, battle hardened veterans at a VA, you know, it's not what they saw over there that gets to their head. Is they get over there and we have to be a different person than we are at home, and that's for a very, very specific reason, and that reason is so that we can do what we have to do, protect the man or woman to our left or right, and come home to our families. But when you get home, all of that at some point is just going to go from being locked away, and it's going to come and hit you like a damn 18 wheeler. And that's what screws with a lot of our heads, is what we had to do, what that we had to take our humanity and our empathy, and we had to put that on a damn shelf in the garage till we came home. And that's the problem right there. Is that it's not that these cops are wanting to hurt people. My late stepfather was Arkansas State Police narcotics for a lot of years until he retired. So, it's not just the military side for me. I take the blue side very seriously as well. And while you'll normally find me on the side of the cops just because I've got, a better than normal knowledge of what they have to go through on a daily basis. And to me, in a way, it's actually a lot harder on them than it is soldiers that are deployed. Because when we leave, we're gone for a predetermined amount of time. And whether that's up to the brigade or God, we're going to be gone for a predetermined amount of time. We just don't know what it is. But with that officer, think about it. Every time he leaves that house, kisses his wife or kids goodbye, or husband goodbye, whatever the case is, and leaves for work, he doesn't know whether he has to do that on a daily basis, wondering, is he going to see them again when his shift is over with, or is he going to have to lay down his life to save another? And that
yeah,
includes these frauditors and these morons. And that's what I tried to explain to Davy Boy Bitch last night, who decided he wanted to, go smoke his entire weekly allotment of weed in one sitting, and then try to have a civics debate with me live, and it just didn't work out well for him.
Well, let's get into this right now, because you're talking about good guy audits, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because this is something that like, and I'm gonna be getting about this topic a lot, because these auditors, frauditors, what they are not what they say they are. They always get on their channels talking about activism, and they're doing this for the First Amendment, and we've seen enough of them to know that that's not what they're doing. And so this is why I get so much, like, I get so like angry when we've got people in our communities that want to treat them as if they're coming in as honest, you know what I mean, or as somebody who's coming in as with intentions of being as neutral as we are, because we want to be fair, right? We want to be fair with anybody who has a different idea. If you have a different way of looking at things, that's fine with me. You can go ahead and share your ideas with me. But these guys don't have an idea. They don't have anything brand new, and they don't have anything that they want to give. They just want to create chaos in these situations, to have a video to post up and get clicks and views. That's what they want.
And that's exactly what I called him out on. Is that
exactly?
I called him out on it, and I said, "All right, well." And it wasn't like the time before I got on there and I lost my temper with him. And, I still crushed his little bitty soul, but I did it in a much nicer way last night. And when I started asking him the hard questions, and he just wasn't either competent, or he just wasn't sober enough to be able to do it. But that was his own fault. He rolled up on his own.
They're not smart, man. Those guys are not smart.
He rolled up on his own, and he decided he wanted to go round 2 or 3 with me. And I asked him some very, very hard questions. And I don't remember if I saw corrections on there or not. But, Jerry, you were over on Hezekiah and Frauditor News Network's live stream.
Yeah,
so he got on there right after I showed up, and he was where I started. And I started asking him questions like, all right, you talk about wanting transparency. You want transparency. That's what you're always telling these cops. Well, let me ask you this. Why are you lying the second you get in there? If you want transparency, why don't you contribute to that? Why are you being dishonest the second you go in there? Why are you lying to people as soon as you get in there? What do you mean? I ain't lying. Yeah, you're lying because when you go in there and they tell you need to leave, and you tell them, oh, I don't have to leave a public building unless I break the law. That's bullshit. It is.
Yep.
So why are you lying to them? And
how do you feel about it? Corrections?
What's that?
How do you feel about it?
Well, hey, first I want to touch on one thing just to kind of clear something up to make sure everybody knows I am not previous military. It's not because I didn't want to. I actually did want to. I had a brother who just got out of the Air Force last year. He was a drone pilot. I have a current brother that's in the Marine Corps as a gunny sergeant out at Camp Pendleton. I have another brother. Yeah.
Has he told you what they call? Hey, has your brother told you what they call them out there? What the East Coast Marines call the guys at Pendleton?
Oh, Hollywood Marines.
Yep.
Yeah.
Granted, another Marine's the only person that can say that and not get his nose broke.
Well, but the funny thing is, what made it worse is they came out with a new movie called Purple Hearts. I think it's on Netflix. And he was featured in the beginning of that movie, so now he's really getting it bad from everybody. So,
Jesus Christ, I know he is.
Yeah. And then I had another brother who served 6 years. He was an 0311 grunt in the Marine Corps. Went over to Iraq, and then I had of course, I had a grandpa that served in World War II. He was a Purple Heart recipient. And so I really wanted to serve in the Marine Corps because so much of my family had. I had a spinal deformity from birth. It's nothing severe. I'm fine. I'm not saying that for sympathy, but it's called Scheuermann's kyphosis, where you have 4 or more vertebrae that were compressed, and didn't develop right when you were growing up. And of course, the corpsman would not give me a a waiver to get in the Marine Corps for that.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'm familiar with that spinal deformity. Actually, I had a baby sister when I was a kid. She was 24 days old when she died. She died of spina bifida and a hole in her heart. And
Well,
so I'm familiar with your back problem.
Yeah,
well,
but no, I don't have
not,
any. My back doesn't hurt or anything. I get through life fine. I've been a police officer, correctional officer, done all this cool stuff. But it's just the military; they don't mess around with that kind of stuff.
No, because they can't have you jumping out of a plane or carrying an 80-pound ruck, and
right.
and that is what it is. While I respect people that served honorably, I will never disrespect somebody because they didn't serve. It's not for everybody, and not everybody can serve. And please don't take that as me saying that you couldn't have hacked it if you'd been given a shot. I believe you could have.
Right.
But yeah, and it's not that, and it was something that the good guy kept saying is, aside from the white privilege bullshit, he kept hitting on because you guys think y'all are very better than I am. I says, no, not even close. You got to remember, we all wanted to be part of something that was bigger than ourselves. And corrections, you did the next logical thing because of what you wanted. The same thing. You wanted to be part of something that was bigger than yourself. And that is an increasingly, how do I say it? It's just something that is fading away from the current stock of future soldiers and Marines, airmen, and sailors we have coming up. And
yeah, and I work along a lot of ex-military, as officers, and they are the best officers. They are great. If I have to give code to my location, the cavalry's a coming. The cavalry's a coming, and they already have that basic training on hand-to-hand combat, positional awareness, which takes time to learn. Over a brand new officer.
Army, it's called combatives. And what's really, really cool, you guys all remember Ken Shamrock, right?
Oh yeah.
From the UFC. Well, the current combatives, which is the Army's, that's the new Army speak, or it sounds a lot less, I guess, extreme than hand-to-hand combat, but it's called combatives now. And when the TRADOC, which is the training doctrine at Fort Benning, when they went back and redesigned all of it, when we were getting into Iraq and Afghanistan, it was Ken Shamrock went down and he helped create it. But yeah, they came up with those cute little words like combatives, that is just a really cute way of saying snap someone's neck with your damn bare hands.
Well, and a lot of it's and a lot of it's just a lot of less stuff, like just simple things like elbow strikes, knee strikes, softening them up a little bit to where we can get them into custody. And they know
you being law enforcement, I'm sure you've heard the term "kill the computer" or the T-square.
Yes.
You ever heard that before, Jerry?
I've never heard of that. But
all
sometimes
right,
that's what I want to do to a computer.
If you're looking at a human face and start at their forehead and draw an imaginary T to where the vertical part of that T runs down the middle of their face just above their lips. And you do that and you form a little, T. Well, that's what precision marksmen, snipers, sharpshooters, whatever the case may be for the guy that's pulling that trigger. If you've got a guy that has, say, a hostage and a weapon in his hand, you have a guy that's about to clack off an S-vest, and you've got a precision shooter, that's where he's going to aim. Because what happens is once that round penetrates, it instantly disconnects the brain from the rest of the body. There's not even a twitch or a muscle spasm. So you got a terrorist with an S-vest and he's about to clack off, or you've got a hostage taker with a kid in his arms that he's about to shoot. They take that shot and he instantly dies right there.
Dang, man.
The location's called the T-square. It's also known as unplugging the computer.
You brought the heavy stuff early on, huh?
Well, that's what I'm getting at is, and they just don't ever come up with enough cute ways like double tap to say kill something.
Well, and you know,
And that's my example right there. That's how we deal with that.
yeah,
Because you got to keep in mind that the modern law enforcement, the majority, and corrections can back me up on this, the majority of the vocabulary used by officers or corrections officers, deputies, whatever, 80% of it is going to be from military terminology.
100%. 100%.
It transfers down.
But
The only
it just
thing
makes sense. It just makes sense.
Well,
to
there's
do
only
that.
one real big difference in terminology for law enforcement versus military, and that's the alphabet.
Right, the phonetic alphabet. Yeah.
I mean, you've got two different kinds. You got the kind law enforcement uses, where it says, you know, Paul, Mary, Queen, and if it was military, it would say Papa, Mike, Romeo. For example,
And if it was Jerry, it'd be Papa was a Rolling Stone.
Nice.
Go ahead.
But yeah, I agree with you, Mike. Though,
hang on. Jerry made a funny. Jerry, you can have 2 sips of box wine.
Mm-hmm.
You can use your straw. Jerry made a funny.
Look, let me just kill that rumor right now. Okay, the only reason why I had a bunch of box wine is because I recently had somebody who was or what you guys would call a girlfriend move out and leave all her little boxes of wine behind. So that's the only reason why I had it. I don't want to give her an excuse to come back.
I consider you a lucky man. I consider you a lucky man there, Jerry, because every time I've had one walk out, I wish she had left booze.
Well, next time, make sure you take her key before she leaves.
Well, yeah, but you know, I've never had one that saved me a trip to the liquor store. I mean, yeah, that's lucky you.
No, I mean it's not like I was happy about it, but I decided to drink them before she decided to say, "Hey, I left some boxes of wine. Can I go get them?" No. Well, anyways,
back to what you were wanting to talk about. You know, I did that live last night, and then you know, I also had the one Friday night as well, and we got where I got to destroy Rogue Nation Friday night.
Oh, that was beautiful. That was okay. This is one of the things that I really wanted to talk about was debating these frauditors, because you debated Rogue Nation. I've debated Rogue Nation in chats. I would say in chats like a million times, and every time I debate him, he always runs away. He always leaves the chats. He always never stays. Why? Because he doesn't want to. He doesn't actually want to face anything. He always says the same thing. He calls himself the authority to everything. So if I tell him, so how do you know this and how do you know that? What does he do? He always says, I know the law because I know the law. And it's like, dude, that's not an argument. Like that's not any kind of argument towards something that we're trying to like get at over here. What I'm trying to find out is if you know certain things like anybody else would, and since you don't, you can't say that. You can't say the things that you say because first of all, you wouldn't know how to interpret anything that is written in legalese or law, right? You wouldn't be able to interpret that. And secondly, even if you do have an idea of something.
Oh, Jerry, look what we got, buddy.
Look at
him. It's like you heard. It's like you heard us. It's like you heard us, right? But it's true, man. And I hope you're listening because you're not going to get a lot of time here.
Georgia Transparency can lend you some butthurt cream, Rogue.
There you
Enjoy.
Go.
He buys it by the case for that. With that much ass, you'd have to.
Yeah, dude, I don't want to know anything from you, Rogue. You don't have anything to teach. The thing is that's exactly what I'm trying to say. You have no authority on any of the things that you say. The only thing you know is what has been told to you. And even then, that's not a lot because those people have their own interpretation. That's why you can't win in a debate. That's why you won't debate correctly. Or you won't even debate in good faith, is what I'm saying. But
well, I mean, it's like, and that's why I said what I said the other night. Even look at his name, Rogue Nation. All right, you know, a frauditor isn't anything but a sov-cit, but a sovereign citizen has more conviction. They actually have the balls to take it all the way, which is why you have the ratio difference of sov-cits versus frauditors that meet Mr. Sparky, is because a frauditor, unlike a sovereign citizen, doesn't have the balls to go through with it. They don't have the balls to meet Mr. Sparky. The sovereign citizens do. But that's all a frauditor is. it's a lazy man's freaking. A frauditor is a lazy man's sovereign citizen. They want to take what they've already done, half-ass it as much as they can, but they don't want to take it all the way. I actually have more respect for a sovereign citizen that will stand there and go all the way and have his damn window removed, and then, you know, get zapped till his nuts are glowing in the dark.
Because the fact of the matter is that they don't believe in anything. Frauditors don't believe in a thing. They don't believe in the thing that they're doing. They don't believe in some sort of First Amendment right, protection activity. Because the truth is that we never asked for that. The country hasn't been thirsting for people to make these points. All of this stuff is stuff that they decided that they were going to do to go ahead and harass some people that they think it's funny to do so. It's not.
Well,
It
Brother
has
Jerry,
nothing to
if
do
they
with
were
that.
true activists, they wouldn't need a fucking script.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing is that that's all it is. It's a script that was put together. And what's even worse, like, at least where I would be embarrassed as far as like people like Rogue Nation over here is that, you know what, you're following what somebody else said, and we can track it because it's a script. We can track it to the first person that said it, and that person is not going to be anybody important, but you're following them, and somehow you think you're proud of that. You think that that's something to be proud of. It's like there's nothing to be proud of, man. That's just it's all just fake stuff. It's like it doesn't take you anywhere. It doesn't do anything for anybody.
And if you look at how many frauditors are doing serious prison time right now, then every one of them is going to wind up there.
Yeah, except for maybe like Rogue Nation because he won't take the charge. He's not going to get arrested.
No.
I think he probably left already. What do you think, Corrections?
Well, most of these guys. Look, when it comes down to it, oh geez. We're first a question for Michael. When you got with Don Shipley's team on getting the DD 214 for DT, did they give a time frame on when you can be expecting that?
And no, then with it being Sunday and Super Bowl, I'm not going to hit that up tonight. I'll send a email in the morning, referencing a potential estimated time. But and sometimes you got to keep in mind too that that it takes people time, whether it's coming from the Pentagon or Kansas City. A bureaucracy still a bureaucracy, and things take time. So
right. When Frauditor first announced that they were going to bring up, that someone had FOIA'd, all his records from the jail, and I didn't know anything about you, and I didn't know what was going to be in there as far as military stuff, which absolutely shocked me. But I knew exactly what was going to be in
there. That it was in there. It was the level of bullshit that it was.
Right. Yeah. But as far as the correctional side of it, I knew what was going to be in there because you watch all of his stuff beforehand, and it's all about power for him. I mean, he doesn't take care of his kids. He's nothing special. He doesn't have a good career. You saw how he got fired because he wanted that power trip. He didn't care about his employer or his employer's reputation. He just got fired, whatever, and so you knew that when he went in that jail, it was to flex on inmates. He didn't give a shit about his co-workers, and you knew that it was going to come back that whole jail, everybody in that jail hated him.
And see, and that was when me and Josh got to reading off the, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't even realize until we got into it that first night live. I did not even realize how extensive that request had been filled. I didn't get a chance because it had only been 2 days. I sent it the Friday before, the Friday night we went live with Frauditor Troll with all of that. The Friday before that afternoon, and it was that evening when I emailed the FOIA to them. They had it to me by Wednesday, and I got it sometime Wednesday afternoon. And 30 seconds after I saw it, I forwarded it to him, and then I started going through the first couple of PDFs. And I'm just like, son of a bitch, there's no way. And me and him really only had about 5 minutes of collaboration together before we went live on that. And we just didn't even realize until we got into it with you guys in the audience, just, how much was there. And
but
I was,
you see,
Christ, I mean,
yeah, I know, and I heard all of that, dude. That is just wild. It's wild, like that somebody like that, like somebody shit like that would wanna like try to you know act like he's doing something for anybody when all he is a big selfish asshole. You know what I mean? And it's like
yeah. Well,
that's what
I
I'm
had people
that's what I'm
dropping me
saying.
emails and comments saying that the only reason that I got in that and did that was to, to act like a bully or pick on Russell. No, the reason that I was in that show that night hosting it with him was because unlike when Josh made that mistake about Reyes a couple of weeks ago, he got that info from what had been a trusted source, and he didn't know me, and I went on there because I wanted to show that I got this info and I'm give it to him to bring to y'all, and I'm gonna stand right beside him.
You know what? You know what, Rogue? Hang on. You know what, Rogue? If you want to come in here and be like, oh, you only got two people on the chat, whatever the fuck. I'm not his, bro. I'll get rid of you real fast. I don't care. The thing is that I don't care about how many people are in here. I'm here to disseminate my thoughts, and if they happen to be picked up, they happen to be picked up. I don't worry about all kinds of people listening to me and shit like that. I'm kicking it with people who I like. Corrections is cool. Mike is cool. We talk, and I like to talk to them. We have ideas that we like to bring out, and I'm going to bring them out. And whether or not other people are going to listen to them makes no difference to me. So don't think that this is for me what you want it to be, which is what you guys do with what you guys do with everything else. Is think about how you see them. That's not the way it works for me. I like to do things because I like to do them, and I don't bother anybody else. And that's plain and simple, bro. So if you're gonna come in here and try to insult me or bring me down or whatever, that ain't gonna do it. I'll just get you the fuck out of here real quick. I really don't care.
Hey, buddy, we're not bureaucrats, Rogue. We ain't scared of you. All right. And that's how you want to do shit. That's fine. We've all seen the coward that you are, and that's okay. Hey, not everybody's meant to actually be a grown man, but that's okay. You can just go away. This ain't about you, And the
Right.
difference between you and us is we may be in shit that you don't like, but the difference is not making up. What we're saying is the truth. And if you don't like it and you can't handle it, well, you can weasel your own self back to your grandmother's basement. So piss off.
I didn't really. You could get your robot in a little bit. Me, you can go ahead and do whatever you want with them. You have all carte blanche to do whatever you want with them. Corrections?
Yep, I'm here. No, I just, it was just with the business I'm in, I look at felons in two different ways, right? Okay, so there's some people that are decent human beings that make some major mistakes, right? And let's say someone has too much to drink, T-bone a car, manslaughter or something, made a terrible decision, but they don't go down this road of being, oh, it's the police's fault, it's the government's fault, I have to strike back, it's everybody else's fault. They move on, they do whatever they got to do, and they become really, really good, solid people in the community again. But some of these guys, it seems like, I mean, you look at the ranks of these frauditors, and it's just arrest after arrest after arrest, and it's anti-government. They hate the police. It's everybody else's fault. I'm not going to take care of my kids. Look at all the chomos in their community and the wife and the woman beaters. I mean, they are just, most of these people are vile human beings. And so I hate sometimes when I come out and just be like, oh, they're just a bunch of felons, because I don't feel like that with all the felons. I feel like a lot of felons really get their lives on track, become good people, take care of their kids. They work hard, have a legit job. They treat people in the community with kindness and respect. And yes, even government employees and police. Most felons I know actually don't have a problem with the police. But these
No,
ones, these
ones of us,
these,
I mean, and
yeah,
I know some of the guys that we cuffed up and turned over to other agencies overseas. Not I know that not every one of them was a damn evil person. A lot of them, most of them were probably not. But that is what it is, and you get into this part of it, and you've got some guys in jail that that aren't criminals, but they made a mistake and it was serious enough it got them where they are. And but the flip side of the coin is for every one of them, you got two or three others that don't give a damn. They don't want to try it. All they want to do is thieve and kill and smoke and shoot, and you know they just don't want to do. They just don't want to grow up. They want to be little Peter Pans forever, and that's just not how life works.
And you know what? And you know what, Mike? Growing up, man, I knew plenty of people who were like that. And the thing is that check this out. I know people that are like that, and people that are still like that right now. Some people that are doing hard time in prison that are not getting out because they live that life. But the one thing they'll tell you, even now, they'll tell you now, they're like, I wanted that. I don't want to be a work. I don't want to go to work like my dad every day. I wanted to live an easy life, and they wear it proudly. Now I'm not saying that's something to be proud of, but they wear it proudly, right?
Yeah.
So there are people out there who, at least, if anything, they're honest about what they want to be. The thing about frauditors is they can't even be honest about who they are, and the truth
No.
is that they're selfish, lazy, either chip on their shoulders or just people who are clowning around who don't believe in anything. And
All
it's
right.
like,
I get a question for both of y'all. Now take our little damn grandma's boy here, Rogue Nation. What do y'all think? How do you think the interaction would go if it's him by himself gets pulled over at 2 a.m. with no Frauditor backup and no camera? How do you think that interaction's going to go?
It wouldn't end well.
Well, I think my opinion is that if he doesn't have his camera and he doesn't have his Frauditor backup in the car, he gets yanked over by a patrol officer at 2 a.m. My guess is Rogue Boy's going to get real compliant real quick.
yeah, of course.
Oh yeah.
See, I'm not someone who likes to label every single frauditor dumb. That's actually dumb to think that all of them are dumb, but they all do have their how would you say, their street knowledge. You know what I mean? They know how to act if the camera's not on. They know that if they act a certain way, they can get out of their ticket. They can get out of their situation. They know that. I mean, just look at I'm against Impress when he got
I'd
caught
rather
by the
not.
cop. I know, but I'm just saying, if you think about it, you look at a guy like him, who was crying like a little baby when they had him in the back of that cop car. What was he like? Oh, sir, so I'm just doing this for my family. I got to feed my family and all this and that, and all of his fucking arrogance, his pompous jerk, like attitude that he has, all gone. He was like a scared little boy just talking to the cops. Please let me go, sir. I don't have to spend the night in jail. I'm an old man. And that's the thing. That's the thing, is that they know how to lick the boots when they need to, and they will. But then when they're in front of their audience, when they're doing their little broadcasts, they do their live streams, they act like these internet tough guys, and they the thugs and the tyrants and all this and that. It's like, dude, it's all just a show. They're nothing. They don't have anything. They don't have no substance. They don't even. All they are is just a little show, a little act.
Well, the thing that pisses me off the worst about them, though, it's all about the power. It's all about flexing on other people. Like they go into City Hall. They're not going after the big guys normally. They're going after the secretary, someone's mom, someone's sister, and they will just berate them and make them feel stupid. And then, oh, I need to file a complaint against you because you didn't bend over and kiss my shoe. If you don't do exactly what I say the exact way I wanted to, I'm going to dox you. I'm going to do everything I can to call flood you and just make their lives living hell. And that's what pisses me off so much about them, is because when you strip it all down, if they don't care about the First Amendment, it's all about power and flexing, and they don't have any power in society, but they want it. They want it so bad. And they use the First Amendment as a reason to say, "Oh yeah, I'm a champion of the First Amendment. I'm trying to strengthen the First Amendment by doing this." No, you're using it as a shield, my guy. That's all it is.
And that's exactly what I asked Davey last night. That's exactly what I asked him, and he couldn't give me an answer. He couldn't. I mean, it could be that he was so baked out of his mind that he couldn't even try to answer my question with a question. But my question was, hey, buddy, if you're really, really wanting to affect change, why are you constantly going at street level? Why are you going after, P1, P2 patrol officers, secretaries, clerks? Why aren't you going up the chain of command to places higher than that people that are high enough they can affect the change you demand?
Because plain and simple, it's work. Because it's work. Because it's not going to a spot and putting your camera out and just talking the bunch of nonsense and then making people angry. It's not that. Because I've done that. Because that's one of the main reasons that when I started seeing Frauditor videos, I was getting so pissed because it's like I first of all, when I first found my first Frauditor videos, they weren't from the anti-frauditor community. They were from the frauditors. So I was watching it from the perspective of the people who were supporting them, right? And I'm watching these videos, and I'm like, this is not. What are you guys talking? Like, why are you at a police station? Why are you at a post office? Like these things are not going to change there. They're not going to change at all there because these people don't. They're just workers. They just go every day to work. They don't care about what you're talking about. Now, this was even before I thought that they didn't believe in what they believed in. I thought maybe, okay, there's something that this person is trying to do that can't do it because they won't let them film. I broke down the video, looked at it right, and I'm all like, this guy's an idiot, right? And he's I don't know what the hell is he thinking. And it wasn't until I found SC's video, Schrodinger's cat video, that he put it into perspective when he talked about the clicks and the views, right? It all made sense at that point. So when
I kind of took her to tortured route.
You what?
I started off. I kind of was looking for something one day, and I wound up seeing a Jeremy DeWitt video.
Oh,
and I started watching a couple more. I'm like, how the fuck is this right baby getting away with this shit? And then it went from there to showing other people getting arrested for impersonation, and then it just the algorithm on my YouTube account was directed me to the Frauditor videos. And then, and I started seeing what these guys were doing. And like you, I just started getting so pissed off because, I'm 41 and you two sound like y'all are, closer to my age than, some of the Frauditors. And because when I was a kid, and it didn't matter if it was Texas, Africa, South America, in California that I was at as a kid, we respected the police. They call us bootlickers. It's not about that. It's, to me, I'm going to go give that officer the respect off the jump that I would want him to give to me. I'm not going to go demand something out of somebody that I won't give them.
Right. Right. And that's
they
exactly it.
Demand this respect off the jump from this person that doesn't know them from Adam. And they want that respect from them. They don't want to earn it. They want it. And
yeah, exactly. They demand
it. They refuse to give what they want. And that's the difference to me. That's just bordering on hypocrisy.
I tried taking my dad a little bit down the Frauditor rabbit hole, but it would make him so mad that I was afraid he was going to have, a heart attack or something. But he flat out told me.
With mine.
He flat out told me, he goes, if you were my son in their shoes, treating public officials like that or police officers like that, not only would I expect the police officer to tune your ass up a little bit, if he didn't, I would do it myself.
In front of him.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's not just my dad. It's my mother, my stepbrother, my stepmother, my mother, my dad, my brother, my sister, my brother-in-law. Every one of them they would probably all just be sitting down, taking turns, beating my ass in front of that officer that I had disrespected. Don't get me wrong. In my 41 years, I never have. And I meant everything I said to Stupid or Davy Boy, that if we rolled up on him And if I rolled up on him in Austin, and me and my neighbors saw that he was, doing that to one of our officers or a trooper or a well, if he tried doing that with a ranger, he's going to disappear. But
yes, Rachel, my dad does rule. Thank you.
I'm guessing that's one of your people, huh?
good evening, Miss
Yeah,
Rachel. But
it's my dad.
yeah, we would if we saw somebody like that was doing that bullshit to one of our guys in our town. In Travis County, Texas is not exactly a small place, but I'm telling you right now, if we rolled up on that and be like, officer, is there a problem here? Oh, well, you go ahead and you go take care of what you got to take care of. We'll take care of this. And we would handle that. And that's just the way that is. I mean, because that's one thing that like Davy Boy and Rogue can't seem to get through their freaking non-existent brains is those officers are your neighbors too.
Yes.
And and we grew up in an era to where your neighbor is like family, supposed to be. I mean, neighbor is actually mentioned in the Bible, whereas buddy frauditors aren't.
Yeah, no, they have no, they just have no respect for anybody but themselves, and that's no way to get respect. And the thing is that like I look at it. See, my grandpa he taught me that to be respectful, just like your dad's probably did. He told me to respect others, as you would want to be respected. But the thing is that I found a new way to respect people, especially in professions, because I had a better understanding of what they went through when I started figuring out how hard it is to be, I give respect to people like lawyers and judges and stuff like that. I'm not saying that they're correct and everything or that their ideologies are always going to align with me, but those people worked hard to get where they're at. That those degrees,
Exactly.
those things that they earned, they earned them.
And not
Nobody
only
gave it
that,
to them.
having to be as efficient as you have to be in with that degree to go from being a bar card carrying lawyer or a prosecutor, litigator, to being a judge, whether you're appointed or elected. You've got to do a lot of things for that to happen. And that's what I don't know if it makes, sometimes I can't decide whether I want to puke or I want to laugh when these guys are sitting there, like the few times that a judge has gotten on a frauditor's ass on camera in a courthouse,
I love
and
those moments.
remember
I love those
Craig
moments.
from CH and Tie Audits, right?
Yes.
He decided he was going to go do his little thing, and he had already been advised several times that there's no recording in this place. Well, he just pretty much looked at the head bailiff and was like, "F you." And he said that right in front of the chief judge. And the judge told the bailiffs, "Hey, bring him in. We're going to go into early session." And so the bailiffs had to drag him into the courtroom. And he got in the courtroom, and the judge slapped him with contempt, sent him to jail.
Yeah,
Off
and another thing,
subject. Hey guys, y'all all know what happened to Manuel Mata yesterday, right?
No, what happened?
Oh well, you know how he was already out on like 8 or 9 bonds in Tarrant
yeah,
County.
they revoked his bonds, right?
Well, not only that, he got some new charges.
Oh, beautiful.
The video's up, and it's to just hear how he's yelling, in Texas especially. And I mentioned Texas because it wasn't that long ago that there was an issue that was going before the desks in Austin about because of Manuel Mata and Patty Cake and News Now Rapist, because of what they were doing. They were at first, the legislature was going to slap a mandatory minimum distance on investigations and crime scenes, but they decided not to do it. And so at first they thought the idiots thought that was giving them carte blanche to go act like crackheads. And that wasn't what it was. And I've explained this several times, and I tried to explain it to the idiots this weekend on the lives I was on, is that the reason that they scrapped that was that somebody who had obviously worked a crime scene or two or an investigation or two knew that no crime scene or investigation scene is ever a duplicate of one before it. You can't put some, you can't just put some, mandatory distance on it. You just can't do it just for sake of doing it, because this investigation may be the same kind of crime as another investigation, but the site may be 10 times the square footage that you've got to work.
Yes.
So they couldn't put that arbitrary number on it. So basically what has happened is that this is now an investigation or a flat out crime scene. The branched off distance or the sealed off distance is up to the investigator or the officer in charge on scene. And if there are any frauditors listening, they don't have to have tape up. They don't have to have crime scene tape up. Them verbally explaining to you, hey, this is this. You are not to advance any further than from right there. Guess what? That is law. And and unlike the damn extreme rogue nation tried to go on it, there is no time out. Within the realm of common sense and reason, any order given to you by an officer is lawful until a judge says it is not. We as citizens, we give the police, the sworn officers and deputies, rangers, troopers, whatever office they work for, we give them that power. We don't really give it to them, but it's extended to them. We extend that power to them, and us as citizens, we have to comply with it. That's just how that works. This whole, oh no, I don't have to follow unlawful orders. Well, okay, how does one determine if it's an unlawful order on the spot? You can't. That's why, until told by higher authority, that order that sworn officer gave you while you are in the middle of his investigation is lawful until a judge tells you it's unlawful. Period.
Right. And Mike, you're kind of breaking up a little bit. I don't know. You might want to check your settings or whatever, see what's going on there. But I got all that, and the way frauditors see it, and this is, to me, it's like a common sense thing, right? If we were to look at it in the sense of a locked door, you walk up to a locked door, a door's locked, and it's not your house.
Yeah.
If the door is locked, obviously they've restricted that area from you. You don't need a sign. You don't need anybody to tell you the door is locked. They don't want you in. It's not your house. You can't go in there. Done. No more explanations. Nothing left to say. If a cop is telling you that you can't do something, or you can't pass this line, or whatever the case may be that the cop is telling you, it's because you can't. He is the symbol of that locked door. He's telling you can't because you can't. Now, if he's telling you in a situation where you know that's your house, or that's a place that you know that it's your place to be there, then you have a little bit of carte blanche to go ahead and question why they're keeping you from your house. That makes sense a little bit, right? But even so, there is a reason why the cops are there. Cops don't show up to places. I've yet to have a place that I've been to where a cop shows up where nothing's going on and they start kicking people out and telling people that they can't come in somewhere. That's never happened. It's only happened when something's going down, something went down, or something will be going down.
Not unless there's some kind of a curfew that's being enforced for whatever reason.
Yeah, and just to expand on my
okay, hey, I'll give you a great example. The video where Glinda and his little butt buddy got sprayed. I never get old of that, because I mean,
it was beautiful. Yeah.
Because I loved how they went from internet tough to
I can't see. I can't see.
well, yeah, that's the whole point, fat boy.
And I want to expand on what Mike was saying just for a second too. Let's say, yeah, you can't ever have two crime scenes that are exactly the same. So let's say you have a shootout in a parking lot, whether it's taped up or not, they have the right to tell you to stay back because they have to preserve that crime scene for investigators to come in. And you're going to have an actual officer or two keeping notes of who's coming in, but within the line the boundaries that they've set up, so they can preserve the scene and make sure that no bullet casings were moved or this or that. And that's what these frauditors don't realize is that there could be a very serious crime, a shooting, a death, or something like that. And just because they want to get stupid, it can totally wreck their case because it's gonna have evidentiary problems with the evidence once it comes into trial. Because now a defense attorney can get up there and say, "Hey, this jackass got in there, and who's to say he didn't kick some casings around?"
You're 100% right. Corrections, and another thing you gotta remember here, Jerry. Correction knows about it. I know about it because of just our prior work. But most people don't have a clue as to what chain of custody vouchers are, and wouldn't recognize one if they saw it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is a big thing. That's a big Sixth Amendment issue. It is.
Yeah.
And
well,
I know it's so weird when people get on here and they talk about amendments that aren't the first or the third.
Mm-hmm. Well, just let me go ahead and preface what you said about me not knowing certain things. I do know certain things about cops and military and stuff like that, but not because like I have experience. But the thing is that see, I'm the type of person, and I don't know about anybody else, but I'm the type of person that if I get into something new, whatever it is, whatever it is that I just experienced, which was my experience in jail, which when I went to jail, when I messed up, I made a mistake. I learned about public defenders. I learned about attorneys. I learned about how they work and about the law and how it works and stuff like that.
You were learning about the new shit you were going to have to experience.
Exactly. And then after my experience there, because my public defender was a great guy. I wish that I would have kept his number or whatever. He was an absolute, stand up guy. He fought for me, and not only that, but he gave me a lot of information. He taught me a lot of things. And so once I got out, I went to my local police station and I went to go do a ride along. I went to go see what was going on with like their situation and stuff like that. And I wanted to get closer to the people who do these things because I did have a certain image or a thought of what I thought police were. But once I did those ride alongs, once I saw their life as to what it was, I thought to myself, man, you know what I mean? Like they really, this is a really thankless, shitty job that doesn't pay that great, and then they get a lot of shit for the things that they do. Now, I will agree to some degree that some things need to change within the realm of the way that things work. But then again, who's gonna move things on the other side that's gonna help them out so that they don't have to work on certain stresses? Because people always talk about, oh, let's get social workers or psychologists or whatever stuff like that. But to be honest, the people who need the psychiatry, the people who need mental help in those situations is the cops because they see so much crap, so much crap. They go through so many things.
Cop there easily needs the same amount, if sometimes not more amount of counseling for PTSD than a soldier does. So you got to remember one of the biggest differences between being a soldier and being a sworn officer is that as a soldier, sometimes you'll go, our country will go 20 years without having armed conflict. But an officer, it's a 24/7, 365 deal with the murders, the drug overdoses, the child deaths, and so on and so forth. And and the thing, I like the image that Corrections has got over his right here. The Punisher skull with the blue line on it. And here's another way to look at that blue line. Now, the frauditors and certain people want you to think that blue line it's some kind of gang mentality or hatred or racism or some stupid adjective to get thrown on something to basically start a fight over something because they don't understand it. And
which is
the blue line. Listen to that word, line. It's like drawing a line in the sand. On this side, you have law-abiding, good people who want to take care of other people. On the other side is everybody that wants to harm that. That's it. That's it. There's no grand conspiracy. That's the damn police departments and their blue lines are not the next King KKK. They're not the damn Nazi lowriders. They're not the Aryan Brotherhood. They're not the Southern Brotherhood. They're cops.
Right, and I can tell you, and I get so tired of hearing about the thin blue lines. Oh, you're going to cover up for this other officer. I can tell you one thing: whether it's corrections or police officers or even the military, the ones that hate the bad ones the worst are the good ones, and we will get rid of them ASAP because they're not dependable. You can't count on them. They won't have your back. They're going to create a bunch more problems, and they're just going to bring dishonor on your whole agency.
Exactly.
We want them gone.
And I've come up with some thoughts here lately to explain it. And some of my lives or videos with other people, I've brought it up. And, no human being is perfect. All right. The only entity that is God. God is infallible. Jesus wasn't even infallible. Remember, Jesus was human. So he was very much fallible, just like anyone else. Now, having said that, keep this in mind, that while I do, in my heart, I believe with every fiber of my being that 90+% of all officers are good people, good officers. And they will lay their life down. They will sacrifice themselves from their own family to save your family. And while I know in my heart better than 90% of them nationwide are good men and women, nothing is perfect. Nothing. We have bad people in the military. That's why we have military prisons.
Yep.
That's why. Is because nothing is perfect. Nothing. Perfection, you know what? Be honest with you, it ought to be taken out of the damn. They need to change the word or the definition to it in the dictionary.
Well, I mean, at least they should put next to it very hard to attain.
If you think about it, is more of an opinion than it is a fact.
Right.
Because what you, Jerry, think is perfect, I or corrections may not, and vice versa, So let's say perfection is an opinion. But yes, I do believe there's more good than bad, and it's always going to be a balancing act. There's a reason that one of the biggest symbols of justice in our country or in the world are scales.
Exactly.
Scales. There's a reason for that.
And I love this because it's like you're saying exactly what the points that I try to make so much when I'm trying to talk to people, because you hear people like Chilli who say things like 95% of
how much sense do you think you can really make to somebody that's on a 4-day Ativan and Adderall bender?
Not much, and nobody should be listening to somebody on a 4-day.
Hey, watch me snort. Y'all watch me snort meth with a damn garden hose.
Right, and that's what I mean. That's what I mean is that guys. Go ahead, bro. You take your time. That's what I mean. Guys like him will come out with these statistics like, an officer kills like 4 people a day and stuff like that, and all this and all these different statistics that come out all over the place, right? But you only need to look at what's going on around you just with your eyes. And I always say to myself, like, they make it seem like all these interactions with cops end up in shootings, but the truth is that when you do hear about a shooting, it's never clear cut that the cop was wrong. It's almost always clear cut that the person who got into the shooting was the person who was wrong. And the one time that rare occasion when the cops were wrong, it's so sensationalized and so big that if I was a cop, I wouldn't want to do anything wrong anyways. The truth is that we've created a boogeyman that shouldn't be. And it upsets me because it's like the people who put on that uniform who go to work and put on that uniform, they do a lot just by putting it on. They are sacrificing their lives just by putting on the uniform. And we want to put more pressure on that because we don't like the way they tell us things, or we don't like the way they talk to us. I don't want police to be customer service. I don't want them to be people who have to bend and fold to somebody else's will. I want them to say, I'm the authority and I'm going to do what I need to do to protect people around me. Will there be people who power trip? Will there be people who are corrupted by the power? Sure, because that's what happens. But just like Correction said, the people who hate the bad ones are the good ones. The good ones hate the bad ones more than the good ones, and that's something I'm probably gonna highlight later on. I'm gonna start putting up videos where we see cops arresting other cops for their bad conduct, and I have plenty of those because I don't see them enough in like the anti-frauditor community. I don't see them. I don't see these videos enough. So I'm gonna make sure I bring those out.
Well, I'll give you a great example of this. This break it down some, but everybody, you should sound like you guys are old enough to remember the show Kung Fu. You know.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, aside from the fact that they picked old what was his name, David Carradine, David Carradine, when it was supposed to be Bruce Lee, you know, to play the character of Kane. Well, he actually, during the show in the 70s or 60s, whichever it was, he actually got so into the character that he started living his life like that in real life. Well, that's the thing with like Chilli and Laya, you know, old Sean Paul Reyes. What it is they've gotten into their fucking character so much that they think that the character they're playing on YouTube is now an actual person. And with Chilli, that kind of makes sense. With, you know, when you do enough blow or meth that you need to have an intervention done by damn Charlie Sheen and Keith Richards, you need a damn sponsor, and not the kind of sponsor he's wanting. I don't mean the kind of sponsor that's going to pay for his blow habit. But yeah, and that's what's happened with them is they have gotten so into their characters and the power trip and the recognition with it that now they want to live that. That's their life now.
Well, I got a bunch of theories on that guy on Chilli. He is a character. He is a character.
Well, okay, you guys remember the one where Reyes got arrested at night walking up on that traffic stop, and the officer walked up to him once he had his partner watching the guy they had pulled over, who they were being extremely cordial and cool with. I've never seen you don't ever see it that good on cops. And Reyes just kept walking up on him, and damn officer went back and told him he needed to go back, keep backing up, because he parked in a damn closed parking lot about 400 feet away and was approaching in the dark in the grass. And that was the one where Reyes lost all the damn support he had with the apology letter when he pleaded out. Yeah. And that was what happened.
Well, the whole time they were telling him,
the whole time they were telling him, "Hey, you're under arrest." Boom, that's that. He still kept talking. He's like, "Come on, y'all know who I am. Y'all know my channel, my company. Let's do this. Why don't y'all go ahead? Y'all just cut me loose, and we'll forget about this." And the damn officer was like, "No, you're under arrest." And he still kept, even after he was in cuffs.
You know one thing that makes me laugh about these frauditors, that it's really just like, it gets me every single time when I'm watching a video, and I just want to laugh at them every time they do it. Whenever they're already getting arrested and they're like, "Are you sure you want to do this, officer? Are you sure you want to do this?
You mean, do I really want to stay and do 2 hours of extra fucking paperwork after being on the street for 12 hours? No, I don't want to. You're not leaving me a choice."
And then they start throwing out their little supposed threats, right? They're like, I've done many lawsuits and I've won many lawsuits, and you don't know, I've got people fired. I've gotten people fired.
Or go with the Ass Elmo one. No, you're live on YouTube right now, and there's thousands of people watching, and I've had millions of views.
That's a pretty good impression, dude. All you need is
Thank
the
you.
ah.
Excuse me, ma'am. Do you know the Third Amendment? It's like, well, you know how to talk if I smash your head through your ass?
I love it when his brain just dies half sentence, like ah.
Oh God! But you should be you should be looking for wizards. Wizards. This is Colorado. The Klan's not here. But yeah, and I got to tell you, I really, really enjoyed, and I'll go back and watch him, even if I have to on his channel. It's worth him getting the extra view. I love to go watch him getting chased and running all around Saipan for his fucking life.
Oh, that was great. That was amazing.
It's like every time he got through the maze of cars, there was another local that was gonna damn take that camera and give him a free colonoscopy with it.
I thought for sure he was gonna make it out. Man, like after he went to that park, and dude, and I'll be fair.
How about when he started screwing with customs?
That was stupid. That was stupid too. The thing is that I'll be fair about the park situation. When he went to the park, the guy did ask him to come over. The guy did tell him come over here, right? Before they went after him. Absolutely. I'll give him that. That's all I'll give him. But after that, why are you gonna antagonize a table full of what looked like some very angry people?
Yeah. Well, he got mad at me for two reasons. And one is you know, when he was asking the customs officer, why are you treating me like this? Why are you treating me like this? And you know, you could just look on the officer's face. He's so bad. The customs agent so badly wanted to tell him, look, I don't need to be a proctologist to recognize an asshole when I see one. And the other is the video where he got arrested in front of the police station after he failed his fraud. And he was wearing like he had that red jogging suit and the pants and the Cincinnati Reds hat on. And I asked him, I'm like, hey, that was a great video of you getting cuffed last night. But did you, and ladies, if I offend you, I'm sorry. But I said, did you really have to look like a used tampon doing it?
I know. You said that one on Reaper, I remember. Speaking of Reaper, I got the news. She will be going live tonight, guys. So if anybody right here is a Reaper fan, a Frauditor Reaper fan, we'll be headed over there pretty soon.
I'm pretty sure we all are.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like, I'm probably gonna shut down to go to her because she already told me, you know, like, of course I gotta be there for her. I gotta get back in my well.
What time? Yeah, what time's she going live? Do you know?
She hasn't given me a time yet. She does a phone call with family around this time. So when she's done, she usually lets me know.
But hey, I want to both of you guys, especially, you know, when I do get this channel started in the next week, 2 weeks, or maybe 3, just depending on you know a couple of different things. I want to have y'all on it all the time, like I said, you know, and Jerry, what you said earlier about that you're not former law enforcement or military, brother. That does not matter to me. That in no way will ever affect how I respect you, because
Same here.
Yeah, vice versa, man. Dude, that's vice versa with you guys. Oh, there goes my camera.
Yeah, and I just want to add on to that. Not only will I think the same way, but I give two shits about your criminal history. I judge you on who you are today. Period.
Exactly.
Well, and I don't.
You know, like the one I want to take down the most, just the one that infuriates me even worse than Rogue Nation or some of the others, is Sidewalk Boy. That bitch is going to become a project of mine, and. Why did you touch my camera? You touched my camera. It's my face right now. She's hitting me.
I know who you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, he's talking about Silent Boy.
Yeah, Silent Boy. Ugh.
I mean, I do. I love the video where he's counting out all those hundreds. You know, it's
He's
like
so
his
dumb.
weekly
He's
take
so
from
dumb.
pimping out his mom, which actually it's kind of weird that he had that many hundreds when he only charges, $5 an hour for. But I loved the
Yeah.
jewelry he had on, the rings he
Yes.
had on. I mean, it was
Yes.
like straight 1989. It looked like he just bought out an entire Run DMC yard sale.
Yes, Rachel. He spit in my face.
I did nothing.
And I would love to. What's that fuck stick's name down there in SoCal? SGV.
Oh, that fat bastard! Oh God, when he got
Yes.
demonetized, and he went live after he got demonetized, and dude, he was doing it in a like gas station bathroom with the light off. It's like he broke into a gas station bathroom to do a damn live stream, bitching.
I thought it was his growery.
Say what?
I think it was his growery. He has a growery operation down there.
SGV is like the reason why I looked into frauditors more than anything, because he came down to my city, and he not only did he disrespect a friend of mine, which was the receptionist at the time at City Hall, but he disrespected a kid that walks around here that we all know that has mental problems, and he almost got him into trouble because he didn't know what was going on, but he was trying to help the lady, which is she's my friend for years, and she knows him too, and she treats him really well, and he was just trying to defend her, and he almost like did that thing where he baited him to fight him and wasn't going to fight and let him get arrested. It was such a like shitty thing to do that I was like, who the hell is this guy? But I let him give me his card, and then I went to go look him up, and that's when I went down this whole Frauditor Road thing. It started off with his dumbass,
and then
I know where he
Casey
stops.
Boy.
Oh, him
I
too.
loved it. I loved it when those like 14 people just got tired of his shit, and those 14 workers and the security guard. You see. I mean, they handed him his ass, and damn, Sidewalk Boy's fat ass is just standing there recording it. Like, oh, well, that must suck for him.
Yeah, my thing that I've been doing during this time is like, because I know a lot of the places that they go to. I hate that they go to places that I know, because when I see them there, I'm just like, oh no, like I'm like, I don't want. I hate that they're there, but I usually try to follow up. I'll go to the place if I can get to it and I have time. I go there and I talk to the people. I've had a couple of talks with some like private business owners where I tell them like, next time don't give them don't give them no play. Let them be out. Yes, it's annoying. Yes, they're gonna try to bait you into doing something, but just leave them alone, because their whole thing is about making content. That's what I tell the private owners, because the private owners, they know they get the cops there, they can trespass them. They know that. They don't have to have a reason and all this other bullshit. Like they basically know we're gonna trespass them. If they come, we're just not gonna give them any attention. So I've talked to some of them like that. But when I talk to like offices, like I've talked to my local Social Security office, my local PD, the local DMV, all these different places that are around my 10 miles, 20 mile radius that I got. I've talked to all these places, and I've told them, and I've given them channels. I've given them all the channels like Frauditor. I've given them channels like Tones Over Things, and all of that. And just like I tell them, look, this is what these guys are. They come over here. You guys are limited public forum. You can go ahead and trespass them like any private business. It's okay. And even if the cops don't like arrest them or take them out or whatever, you go ahead and do whatever you got to do to protect the people that are inside, and it's fine. And some of them have been real receptive and taking the things that I've said to heart. Others, like you could tell that they're like, we don't know what you're talking about, and like why would we, like why would anybody do this? Like, just look it up. I give them the channels. I'm like, just look it up. I promise you, you're not gonna like what you see, and if they come here, they're gonna mess with you like that. So just letting you know. And I've been doing that for as long as I've been watching Frauditor channels. So it's my way.
That's good of you, brother. That really is. Talking art. Are you referring to search and rescue? No, I'm being serious. No, Talking Art typed a message in the chat that says, I have a friend who volunteers for SAR, and they absolutely bring up the same points that we are here. And I'm just wondering if she's meaning search and rescue. If they're still here.
If she's still here, I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, that's just yeah.
Yeah. I've done that duty too, and it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it really takes knowing what it is to volunteer and stuff like that to understand what being in the service or being a police officer is all about. And it's really like not being about yourself, but it's
Well,
always a story of that took advantage of his power, or the one that had a chip on his shoulder about something and decided to snap, and that's all people are always going to talk about. They never talk about the millions and millions of interactions that happened where nobody gets hurt, where nobody gets, you know, get thrown into torture cuffs and slammed on the ground and stuff like that. They never talk about the cops that did their due diligence and found, the SA or the guy that was going to do something bad to a bunch of people. They never talk about those things only until something happens where it was out of their control, or something happened that was outside of what they could have done, that it's their fault. And
yeah.
I'm tired of it. I'm tired of this narrative, because you're trying to get rid of people who are helping you on a consistent basis, daily basis. You trash and bash them, and I really am disappointed in politicians, in people who are supposed to be like always talking about their little platitudes and coming up with the little things about, oh yeah, we got to be behind the blue or whatever, right? But the thing is that they only care about their seat. They only care about the position that they're in. That's all they care about, and they'll say what they have to say to the crowd that they need to stay in that spot, which is
Well,
wrong.
I've got one for that both of y'all will. It'll make both of you think. You hear all these frauditors, like we were just talking about, perfection and this and that. But, like I said, if, we didn't have, if people weren't bad, and we didn't have, and that eliminated there being any bad cops. Well, by doing that, you would have eliminated all bad people, and therefore you wouldn't need cops anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
And I know that's kind of a chicken and egg thing, well, I guess it's an omelet now, but it's you got to really think about it, but that's where you get to with that logic. And while that's, it's a sweet notion or ambition to want to have that, granted it's a little naive, and I think in no way is that ever going to happen. Anybody ever is an old movie, but y'all ever remember the movie Logan's Run?
Yes.
All right. Well, think about that little utopian place they lived in. You didn't have people fighting. Nobody was getting mugged. Nobody was smoking some 73-year-old granny so they could take her purse and get $5 a rock. You didn't have any of that, but still, you had people who were authorities that were armed, doing their thing. Then, I know that's a little different, but think about that. With all the futuristic utopian shit they had, they still had the need for some form of law enforcement, and they were armed, and they rolled, partners. And that's what I don't get is what they think that they're going to make a couple of videos and that all, of a narrative that they created from a script for a predetermined result. They think that that's going to, magically make all the bad officers go away, that they're not going to have them anymore.
Yeah. If anything, these guys feed off of things that happen with bad cops. It's like whenever a situation with a bad cop happens or something, they seem to like love it, because then they could go ahead and do their little videos, and people are less likely to be disgusted by them, because
Well,
like I said,
I asked Dracula Mini Me last night, how many officers have died this year? And he couldn't answer it. He didn't even get close. He decided to attempt to answer my question with a not even close question. His was, how many people have been murdered by cops? That's it. That's the best you can do. Alrighty.
And that just shows his ignorance, because it's like, how many people have been murdered by cops? I don't know. In the course of in the line of duty, I don't know if we've ever really called it murder. I mean, maybe a homicide, and yeah, it could be, you know, some manslaughter, or, you know, like reckless endangerment. I don't know, but murder, you would have to show intent for murder. You would have to show that the cop wanted that guy dead, and most of the
for
time,
murder one, you'd have to
people.
show intent and premeditation. But you know, even if it's heat of the moment and you pushed it too far, and you know, and in that moment you made the conscious decision to take that life, that's still murder too. That's still going to be 25 years to life.
Right. And but the thing is that people think that murder encompasses all, you know, deaths. Like if it's a like if you know, if you just kill somebody, then it's automatically murder. Just like the way they were trying to bash Team Skeptic about his situation, and it's like, no, a murder is a specific thing. You have to prove a certain amount of intent, and a you know, a pre-thought that you were going to kill a person before it's considered a murder. So you can't just throw that word out, throw that word out there. So it's like, to say how many cops murdered people in the street. No, that's not what happened. There's been shootings. Some have been justified. Some have been unjustified. But those situations are much, much more rare than the justified ones. It's like the unjustified ones, you know, you could probably count on your hand, you know, throughout the whole year. And more than likely, that the officer that was involved in those is either going to be doing time, fired, not going to be able to put the badge on anymore, or is facing some kind of repercussions. The officers are not eliminated from consequences. Qualified immunity only works in civil court and other like situations that are more, you know, that have to do with you know, being sued and stuff like that. It has nothing to do with facing criminal charges.
Absolutely. And what's even funnier than that are the frauditors that talk all that smack about that they are going to be able to just arbitrarily wave their hand and they're going to make qualified immunity disappear. And that, when they say that silly shit, that automatically tells me they have no idea what the hell they're talking about.
Exactly.
It's like, it ain't up to you. And that's the problem with frauditors is, you know, corrections does what, you know, he does because, you know, he wants to be part of something bigger than himself. Same reason I joined the military, you know, and Jerry, like the things you were telling us a minute ago that you do, that's because, you know, you believe and want to be part of something better and bigger than yourself. And that's an admirable trait. It is in a lot of people. And that's the problem with frauditors is, you know, where you hear the term "a few good men," you know, that comes from a very, very old adage. To basically to summarize it, it's we sacrifice the lives of the few for the good of the many. But frauditors want to go the other direction with it. The frauditors want to sacrifice the rights of the many for the entertainment of the few.
Yeah, and it's even more devious than that, because all they want is the money of the few. They could care less about how the few really.
And that's what pisses me off the most about them, and that's when I start really losing my shit and, you know, getting so upset that I'm surprised blood isn't shooting out of my ears. Is they don't think about it, that cop, that working class honorable man with a wife, family, or husband, family, whatever, you know, they don't think about that this setup that they just threw on them, that the only thing that this cop has ever done to slight these individuals was just being at a place and time. Because to me, that's no different than entrapment. Because they're rolling up to them. They know what's going to happen because they've scripted it for a certain view or narrative for a predetermined result. And that predetermined result is three things almost always. One, they want to try to push it to where they want cuffs on them. They want cuffs on them, and they want that officer to put hands on them. They really, really want that damn officer to, to lose it and push it so that they can basically it's so that they can get some damn go away money. To hell with the fact that they rolled up on this guy. They set this guy up and they pushed him to a result they predetermined in their mind from their script in that narrative before they even freaking got there. And this is the officer that all of a sudden now his job's on the line. His financial security to his responsibilities is on the line. His freedom is on the line. So this guy can collect a couple of grand and go away money.
Yep. Well, this is what we're doing here, and if anything, if I could before I finish this off, if I could say anything about what I want from this, from this thing that we're going to be doing, and I don't know exactly. I called it on the subject line, "Bad men for good people," or good lives actually.
Bad men for better lives.
Yeah, there you go. And the thing is that that's what it is. Like people in other chats and stuff like that, they think of me as somebody who's rough around the edges because I'll tell somebody that should hear it, fuck you, when they need to hear it, and I don't care to be like soft on anybody that wants to play both sides and stuff like that. The truth is that the reality is out there. The frauditors are nothing more than people who want to, one, play it to their audience so that they can go ahead and take their money. Two, have a chip on their shoulder about a certain police station or a certain cop and they want to get at them. Or three, trying to take down anti-frauditor communities, channel members or channel creators. And what we're doing right here is not playing those games anymore. We're gonna put the target on them. We're gonna talk shit about them. And if they want to come over here and they want to come and start their shit, it's not gonna work because we're not playing up to them. They're gonna either be banned or they're gonna sit there in the chat and just watch because I don't want to listen to them. They don't have anything to say to me.
No, we get disrespected every time that they go out and they play their little kid games and their little bitch boy games. We're the ones who are at risk every time they go do that, and we lose one more good cop off the street.
Right, and that's what I'm doing. We're going to highlight them, and we're going to put them out there so people can see. And even if only 50 people see my shit, and one of them is a judge that can make a decision to change things, to me, that's all that matters. That's all I care about. The only thing I care about is that the information
and one thing I want to do with it as well is, start taking some of these frauditor myths or their sponsored spouted misconceptions and start debunking them, like the what I call Davy Boy on last night, about you can't be trespassed from a public building without breaking the law. Or my personal Taco Terry favorite, no, you can't solicit a trespass. Bullshit.
That's probably one of the quickest ones that I was able, like when I heard that, the first time I heard that, I was like, what are you talking about? Like, solicit. First of all, the cop is there on a call. He's not soliciting nothing. You solicited him, by the way. Like that's not how that works. You don't call somebody to a scene and then tell him he can't do something. No. That's not. No.
Yeah, especially when you're stalking a woman in public because she works at a correction center where you apparently pissed off the wrong CO and he hands-on removed you. So his excuse was, now this one was a little older, but Taco Terry went live in a Walgreens or a CVS, and you could tell by the uniform, you could tell that she works at well, I could, or corrections could, not pretty sure Jerry could. You could just tell by her uniform she worked at some form of correctional facility, and with the tactical pant, the cargo pants, and the matching blue top with the patches on it, you can just tell. And he followed her all around that damn store for a minute, and out to her car. And the whole time she's on the phone with somebody else, goes back inside, gets them to call the cops. And then the female manager takes her into the office, which is secured, to get away from him. And his whole excuse for this shit was that his grandmother was sick. I guess this was before, he took her on a Frauditor and she wound up in the damn ambulance. And
which I still think is not. I think it's a stunt grandma. But anyways, go ahead.
Well, I mean, that's the whole thing was a stunt. But here's the thing: with a woman that old, her taking the fall, you can't really script that just because of how dangerous it is. But whatever it was, he was the one that wound up getting booted out of her place with a restraining order. Because so whatever he did, it pissed Granny off enough that she went and got a damn restraining order and kicked him out of her house. But back to the point, his excuse was for him doing this and just verbally and publicly humiliating this poor woman was that he went into the Walgreens because his grandmother had been sick and then she was jaundiced, and that he needed help. He was there getting feminine products for her. I don't really know what that has to do with jaundice. Any ladies in the chat, let me know, because I'm not completely ignorant, of women's bodies, but if
I can't answer that one. No.
If I'm not saying something, like I said, if I'm missing something, just ignore my ignorance and correct me. But but he said that he went to her because there were no female employees except for the manager, and she was the only woman in the store.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said that he went to this woman and got her to help him look for feminine products for his grandmother, and that she was helping him, and then that he explained to her who he was. And then because he did that, and like I said, he just got physically removed from this woman's place of employment, which is a correctional facility.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
And he said
all.
that she just looked, and that was when he turned into the little the little jerk off that he is. And me personally, if I was going to say get my wife, something from the local pharmacy because for some whatever feminine reason, if I get there and I'm at a loss, there ain't a married guy in this country, well, not a happily married one, that hasn't gone and bought, tampons for his wife. No, silence means understood.
I've volunteered. I've asked when like I remember one time my girl was really really sick, and so I was like if you want me to, I'll get your stuff, because I know the only reason why I knew she was running out of her things is because every time she gets close to like coming to the end of them, she'd always put them like on top of the sink, like the little baggies, like right there. Like, yeah, there's like two left or whatever, right? And I told her, I know you need to get some of those. You want me to get some of those for you? And she was like, no, I wouldn't trust you to do that.
Well, like, okay. I mean, I did that too. But you know what? If I got in there and I ran into trouble, on the feminine products aisle, if I ran into trouble and I did not see, a female cashier or female employee, you know what? I'm gonna do an about face and head to the pharmacy and ask the pharmacist. Yeah. I'm not gonna go, oh look, a prison guard. Let me go. There's a corrections officer. Let me see if she knows what damn feminine product I'm looking for. That just doesn't make any damn sense to me.
Right, and the other part too is that like it's like anybody who goes to like a store and stuff like that, like why would you ask a strange person? Like why would you ask somebody that first of all doesn't work there? Second of all, it's another woman. How are you going to approach a woman? Like about a feminine products for your grandma? That sounds like so dumb. I would think like you're a weirdo, right? Even if I was like with the corrections, I'd be like, what's wrong with that guy? But
well, I mean, I thought his dancing answered that one.
Huh?
I thought his dancing asked what's wrong with this guy a lot.
Right? Yeah, a lot is wrong with them.
That was
Yeah, no.
horrible.
And then you
It's too
preface it
bad
with
they
the fact
couldn't
that he
charge him
hasn't.
with a felony for that shit.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that once you preface it with the fact that he has an anti-cop, like channel or whatever, then you know that he was doing that because he wanted to like get at
Yeah,
the
he saw her and he was starting shit. Was all it was
right.
he didn't get what he wanted out at her place, her corrections facility, and he
Yeah,
got bounced. And he saw her, and I'm sure that the damn patch on her sleeve identified, the facility she was at.
right.
And he just wanted to go start shit. I mean, and that's just the way it is. I'll tell you what's a great video, and we're not we're not advocating violence on this channel, but I did love the CCTV footage of that officer putting him through the wall, literally.
Yep.
Him and his brother got into some shit at the police station, and something happened with his brother. You don't see it on the cop cam, but you see it on the CCTV cams. Well, the cops just at the front door inside the building of the station in Annapolis took his brother down and were cuffing him. Well, he decided that he was going to help. And he started, in an aggressive fashion, approaching the officers that had him on the ground and were securing him, his brother. And he made an aggressive move towards them. Another officer started moving him towards the wall, and it was some kind of cheap paneling, and he went through it. Nothing that would be considered reckless or, excessive, or any kind of liability, but it was just funny because he never left his feet and he didn't hit an injury. It wasn't like he went through, a solid core door. But yeah, it was awesome. And I'm not going to lie, I can't stand that bastard.
Go ahead.
What else was really satisfying to watch is when he went to that pole working place and he went up to that old
Grandpa
black
kicked
dude.
his ass.
Yeah, and he called that old black man who I am sure who has seen some shit through his days with racism and everything.
Well,
and that little shit goes up. That little shit goes up and calls him.
The guy, the older black gentleman, he was some kind of magistrate or something. I'll have to go back and look at the video. But, the guy he first started to get in his face with was like 15, 20 years older than the guy that put like 3 staples in his head.
Right.
Go ahead, corrections.
But yeah, when he went up to that old black guy who's seen some shit and he calls him boy. You call him boy? You deserve to get your melon split. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's like boy is like one under the N-word, right? It's like
it's there.
Yeah, it's like top 5. It's like in the top 5.
Yeah, I was so proud of that black guy. I was like, good for you, man. And then when they dropped the charges on him, that was just icing on the cake. Because I'm telling you, you're seeing a trend where the citizens they're pushed to the limits and they do what they feel that they need to do, and then charges are dropped because they're like, no, these guys asked for it, they deserved it.
Yeah, well, my favorite is Billy Bob, and I don't know his real name. It was in South Georgia somewhere. And he's one of those frauditors that, to just, I don't want to badmouth him since God already did. And, I guess the nicest way to say it, this guy is his teeth are like the Spice Girls. They're all different colors and they're doing their own thing. And that's fun. But he decided he wanted to go down into this little South Georgia version of Mayberry, 40 years removed. And him and his little frauditor buddies are in this town and they're pissing people off. Well, this one guy who is apparently, well liked by everybody in town, he gets tired of their shit and he rolls up to him with a can of spray paint. And he starts spray painting them, their cameras, everything. And it finally gets quieting down. And, the next time you hear about it is the dude that sprayed them is on trial. And this dude, he didn't have his little buddies with him this time. He's standing in the courthouse dirt parking lot. That ought to just
found out that he was found not guilty.
Yeah, he's found not guilty. And he comes walking out with the judge, the prosecutor, his attorney, like 2/3 of the jury. And he's sitting there and he's talking all kinds of shit to, about, these people. He's like, well, I guess they just don't want, they don't want freedom down here. Well, apparently they do, because they just let him go. Maybe they just don't want your hillbilly ass.
You know what? That's the thing. We won't advocate violence in this channel, but we'll celebrate it.
Absolutely. We will sit here and laugh like little sissies. But what was funny is he even was standing beside the dude's truck when he came to it.
Yeah, and they're such punks, man. They're such children.
I hate to steal one from Jeff Foxworthy, but in regards to this idiot Billy Bob, he's one of those that was so ingrained with inbred white trash DNA that even probably as a child he was accused of lying through his tooth. But I laughed. I get it. I get, because in all honesty, with us and our small group here tonight, that town in Georgia was actually pretty much what every frauditor is talking about, with their script. And I hate to say that because I got such a personal fucking enjoyment out of watching this guy get his little potato cam and his GoPro and his body cam spray painted, including, they got spray painted too.
Don't feel guilty here.
I mean, like am I the only fan of that 70s show in the house?
No, I like it. I watch it.
No.
Well, you remember when they went to trash the other team's locker room and they got locked in there by the janitor? And it turns out to be the women's field hockey team, the women's lacrosse team. And they go home and their clothes are torn, they're beat to shit, their hair's everywhere, and they're spray painted to boot. And they walk in, and the rest of everybody's like, "What happened to y'all?" We got our ass beat by men, big 12 men.
Yeah, I remember.
And that was kind of what that reminded me of. And and what's funny is the street where this shit happened with the spray paint incident. They had benches up on the sidewalks. It looked like a modern day Western town. And when I say Western, like, oh shit, you spit on my boot, I'll see you out in the damn parking lot.
Well, I mean,
and one of you is gonna die. That kind of Western.
Hang on, Mike. I'm glad you brought up about like the old Western stuff and things like that. And this is and I'm sorry to cut you off, but I got
your show, Bubba.
And I absolutely thank you for coming on, and I thank you, Corrections, for being my co-host. I hope that we can build on this and have like a good thing. But my thing about this is that there are some old school values that still work today, and we could still use them to be better people. And we got to stop doing this thing where we coddle to people that don't need to be coddled just because they want to say that they're this, and that. They have to show us the citations that they're those things, because I'm tired of people hiding behind the veil of I got mental health problems, or I've got problems at home, or there was my daddy wasn't around and stuff like that. At some point, you gotta stop blaming your daddy for not being there. At some point, you gotta stop blaming your mental health problems, because there's tons of people who have these problems and live a regular life, and they can live as productive members of society. And I don't want to hear any excuses about people saying that, oh, the system put me down. The system. I went through the system. I was on 5 years of probation. I got out of it. I never got back, and I'm never going to go back.
And you're a better man for it, Jerry.
Absolutely.
Yes, I'm proud to call you my friend. I am.
I'm proud to call you guys my friends. I love you guys. I love everybody.
That's no bullshit. It really is. And and the one thing that I seem to keep noticing about most of these little idiots that, we have fun making fun of is that they all seem to be cut from the same damn thing. Almost every single one of them seems to be, a damn some form of a dropout with a felony record and a meth habit.
Yep. I can't argue with that.
And I'm not, and please don't, and anybody that is listening that has substance issues, I'm not making fun of that by any means. I'm not. I'm
Right.
not, because it is a disease. It is a recognized disease. It is. And I'm not making fun of that aspect of it. If you're, a normal person that's, dealing with it, and, you're being a productive member of society, you will never hear, I will never talk the first trash to them or show any sign of disrespect to them. And anybody that does, and I hear it, we're going to start playing podiatrist meet proctologist. And, but, there's some things that, there's some lines you can cross and some you can't. And the ones that you can't, there's a reason for. And the ones that you can, there's a reason why it's seldom done, but still done when it needs to be. And, it's really getting old with these assholes, because now they're starting to screw up people's lives for real for clickbait. And that's starting to piss me off.
And I'm gonna say this. I'm saying it right now. So because I'm gonna keep doing these. I don't care if there's one person or there's three people, whatever. I'm gonna keep doing these because, like I said, I have thoughts that I want to put out there, and if whether they work for people or they don't, doesn't make a difference to me as long as I got them out there. And here, I'm not gonna pull punches. I'm not gonna be sensitive to certain things or whatever because somebody tells me in the comments that, oh, I didn't like the way you talked about that or whatever. It's not about that. To me, it's about people who are decent and people who deserve respect. And we're going to highlight the people who are not doing it because they don't deserve it. And they're trying to get it. They're trying to get respect, and they're trying to push us around. And they're not going to push us around. They're not going to push around their ideas because they think that they have some sort of rights or privileges over us. That's not how it works. We all have the same privileges. We all have the same rights. And your rights don't extend further than your nose or whatever the hell that saying is because I forget it. But the point is that
well, you can't trespass my nose.
I'm gonna poke your eyes out and trespass.
Hey, Jared, I'll say completely off subject, buddy. Let me ask you this: do you know McGaw Elementary or McAuliffe Middle School?
No.
Okay. Well, those are two schools in Seal Beach that I went to as a kid.
Oh, those are in reference to where that would be from me. It'd probably be like 20 to 25 miles away from where I'm at.
Okay.
So yeah, that's why I don't know.
Well, like I said, I lived in Seal Beach for a little while, and
that's cool.
As a kid.
Actually, I worked closer to Seal Beach when I was working in a casino, but that's another story for another time. Corrections,
sounds
please.
Like it'll be a good one.
Plenty. You'll hear plenty of stories from me, man. I've lived 38 years, but I feel like I've lived 100. But anyways, corrections, please give me anything that you want to say, anything that you feel like you want to have as a goal for our show, or anything that you want to do, like as far as like highlighting things that you want to highlight or people that you want to talk about it specifically.
Well, all three of us are, it sounds like we're going to be, really getting on the content train. It sounds like Michael's going to do some great things starting in the next couple of weeks. I plan on doing some stuff next month as far as, prison or jail fights that break out. And it's just a learning experience to where, I'm in a lot of youth support situations to where, once a fight happens, I think everything went well. And then we review the tape and I'm like, oh, goddamn, I could have had better positioning. Could have done this better. Could have done this better. And it's always a learning experience, right? And it's not to pick on officers or anything like that, but it's a breakdown. And it's to help people realize, too, that jail's a really fucking dangerous place. And just like in the military or on the streets or anything like that, when shit breaks down, shit goes to hell really fast. And you got seconds to make, quick second decisions on what to do. And hopefully you're making the right decisions. And I think that'll be a lot of fun. And then I'm going to be here to support you guys, any way I can help, and as far as, Michael, especially, I'd love to do some collab with him when I start doing my thing, because with his, experience as far as, being in the military and, and how they would, treat a certain situation. It's just all about learning from other people's perspectives and teaching the public about different things. And then with you, Jerry, with what you're doing, I'll help with any way that I can. And I think we're a good group of guys, and if we support each other, we can grow pretty quick.
Yeah,
now, I mean,
I'm good
make
with
no
that, yeah.
mistake. I am an asshole. I'll be the first to tell you that. And I am an asshole. But here's the thing. Unfortunately, I'm probably the biggest asshole that has the biggest conscience in the world, because I'm one of those that, and it could be my PTSD, it could be just all my over a decade of kind of having to afterwards, after action, having to itemize everything that was done and evaluate it. But now I'm the kind of guy that when I hit the bed and in the 4 hours it'll take me to fall asleep, I'll sit there and I'll go in my head pretty much over every conversation or incident I had that day. And I'll actually think back to see, okay, did I say something wrong? Do I owe somebody an apology? Did I F this up? And that is just, and it's not that I have mental issues on that. It's just that I spent so many years having to evaluate everything from my day in either itemized report form or in a verbal report. And now it's so ingrained in me that I still do it. Even if I didn't do anything that day but sit on my ass and talk to you guys, I still think back to, like this. I'll go back and look at it later and see, did I F up any of my information? Wow. How about that, talking art? I didn't think God would make that mistake twice.
Well, that's what it is, man. I'm telling you, dude. Like, we don't know until we get the information out there. We don't get to know who's out there until we talk. So that's why
you got to remember, I was raised primarily by my father, and my father was an army and a DoD helicopter pilot, and anybody that's ever met a pilot knows that most of them have egos that they could not carry in their damn aircraft. And that's what I was raised by. So, I've got a little bit of the ego too, but the difference is that I'll be the first one to admit and apologize if I'm wrong.
Well, that's never bothered me. I've been around a lot of people who have ego, but like you, they also know how to calm it down when it comes to being around people that they respect. And that's the thing, is that I have partners and friends that I have a lot of respect for, because they're real men, but they don't have time to do things like this. They don't have time to do things like YouTube or be worried about frauditors and stuff like that. They deal with more important shit, and so. That's why for me it's important. I got the time, I can do it, and that's the way I've always been. If I got the time and I can do it, I'll do it. Like if I can give myself a little bit for the greater good, then I will. If it doesn't mean going overseas or being an officer, it'll be speaking for an officer, or for doing what I got to do. As far as my thing is that we like to talk about privilege and the things that we got, or the things that we don't have, or whatever. And people nowadays like to talk about how they're so oppressed, or they've got all this all these things are happening to them, and they're victims and stuff like that. But the fact of the matter is that we have probably one of the best chances in life when we're born here, and
absolutely,
it's something that people don't do anymore. Is they don't think anything, whatever they believe in, whether it's God or not, or whether they just believe in themselves, that they started off on a good place, and you should be happy that you're here and appreciate it for what it is. And if you think that you can do it better, then go do it. Go do the work. Don't just cry. Don't just put up a video and say that this is what's wrong. Figure it out and make it better.
Absolutely. And that was what Davey Boy from Good Guys Audits said that caused me to jump in his ass with both feet. Ironically enough, they didn't get stuck. And the thing was that he was talking about tyranny and oppression, and that was what caused me to lose my shit, is because I've been all over this world, and I'm going to tell you right now, there is not a single frauditor out there that knows what tyranny or oppression is. I don't have a clue.
Exactly.
And I can prove it to you. And it's the same thing I told him, is that if all these officers that they roll up on were really tyrants, we wouldn't know about it because
Yep.
that video would never make it to YouTube because that frauditor would never be heard from again.
Right.
And as far as oppression goes, Jesus Christ, man, I've seen places in this world. You want oppression? How about if, your sister, your 13-year-old sister, looked at a boy, and then before that day was over with, your 13-year-old sister was standing in a hole 4 foot deep, and you and the rest of your family, or the men in your family, had to stone her to death because she looked at a boy. That is freaking oppression.
Yeah. Yeah, that's bad. Well,
That's
on
what
that
this,
note,
and that's why I said that.
I'm
Here in the
sorry.
next couple of weeks when I get my channel, we get my channel up, and that's what mine's mainly going to be about is, the veteran view on this shit is how do we look at what these guys are doing? Basically, they're perverting all the things that we risked our lives for. And one thing most people don't realize, and this is really the biggest difference between the military and law enforcement, is, and it's not about it does, and I'm not saying that by this it makes us better than sworn officers. It doesn't, because we both take an extremely similar oath. Only about 8 different words are different. But the difference is that while we're enlisted or commissioned officers or warrant officers, is we defend democracy. We don't get to practice it. We swear our oath to the Constitution that does not even apply to us while we're enlisted. And that's really the biggest difference. And that's the side I want to show, is that, just how everything that we fought and bled for, and all the things that corrections has seen and done and been a part of, our view on that, what we actually fight for. And because keeping this country safe, it's a team effort. Corrections is just on a different part of that team than I am. He's still my brother.
Exactly, and the civilians and the people who live lives, experience things like that, they're on a different part of it too. And we should all come together and make the right decisions that work for everybody, because we're all the people. These guys like to say that all the time, we the people, but then treat officers like if they were animals or something else. They're the people too. They pay taxes, they go to work, and they do what everybody else does. They're nothing special in the sense that they're nothing special like the people who get into power and then take that power and abuse it. They have responsibilities and they do what they got to do, and we need to stop looking at them like they're not us, because they are us. They
Exactly.
wear a uniform just like anybody would wear a uniform when they go to work, and it's not a clown suit. It's not nothing to make fun of.
It's not a
It's their
costume.
uniform. It's not a
It ain't
costume. It's their
Halloween, and it ain't a
uniform.
damn. They say that. Oh, well, until you give me your name and badge number, that's just a costume. That's a clown outfit. And
No.
and that's one thing that I've respected more and more about all the officers in these videos when they say shit like that, is their self-control, their resolve. They're not willing to sink down to that frauditor's level and give him the beating that he actually deserves, because it's what he wants. And I'll be honest with you, one of the main reasons I didn't get into civilian law enforcement after I medically boarded out of the Army was that I didn't think that I would be able to keep my composure in front of that kind of insanity.
Yeah, no, what you see, that's the thing is we don't talk about it enough, man. We don't people don't talk about it enough because it's not in the narrative of the mainstream to be talking about things that are like a cop's mental health, or people
Yeah,
who are in the military, stuff like that. People shy away from those subjects because they're so difficult to stomach. And I hope that all of us together can bring those subjects up and we could bring them up in a place where people can actually understand that we're not here to make your life worse. We're here for you guys to understand what's going on, and hopefully we can be entertaining at the same time. Number one thing, and the last thing I'm going to say before we sign off here is that this is going to be a little bit more. I'm going to try to make it a little bit more light, a little bit more entertaining. But I hope that everybody knows if they come onto this video that it's not. I'm not going to pull punches, and I'm not here to play two sides. For me, there's only one side: the side of respect and civil life. If you don't want to live that, then to me you're not on my side, and I'm not here to coddle to you. I'm not going to listen to your little opinion about what you think things are. If you're about respect and about civil life, then you'll get my attention. If you're not, then fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah, but
I don't care about you.
and if you're really an activist and you really want to affect change, because here's the thing, and I believe this. I don't remember who said it, but you know, the only thing that stays the same is everything changes. And with that, you got to think about, we can all, every one of us individually, or, with our professional lives, our family lives, we all can do better. And that doesn't mean that we're bad people or shit heels. It's just that no matter what, no matter how good we are, we can always do better. And
Absolutely.
that is the difference between us and them. They think that they're entitled to this and this and this because, they read with the education of a damn second grader.
Yeah, they think
And they think that they can take that they have this just like magical insight to what this parchment from 17 let's 76? See, I believe it was 1794.
Oh.
And because the Constitution isn't 1776. I want to say that it was 1794 is when it was ratified. And
yeah, I think it was 1791, wasn't
it? And and I don't care if they've got 4 doctorates on YouTube law and theory. To me, they got nothing. But all of a sudden these little idiots think that because of their scripted bullshit that they can translate a parchment from going on 250 years.
Well, you know what? That gave me an idea for what I'm going to do for the next show, and hopefully I'll have me. She's not here. I don't know if she's here, if she's not, but I'll have her come up and she'll help me with the video section of this. But what I want to do for the next one is show the different debates that I've done, and show your debates. I don't know if you have done any corrections. Did you do any on Frauditor's Troll by any chance?
Have I what? I'm sorry.
Have you done any debates against frauditors, like on Frauditor's Troll's channel or anywhere else?
No, I haven't. Not yet.
Okay,
I welcome it though.
Well, I'm gonna grab the 2 that I did on Frauditor Troll, and I'm gonna get Michael's over here, and we're just gonna go ahead and look at them so we can go ahead and do a little bit of just to show you how they decide to debate, which is not much, so that won't take too long, and so we can go ahead and see how is it that they are just following the script and they don't know what they're talking about or even care about what they're talking about, because the frauditor that I went up against, he pretty much I ended up making him admit that all he does it for money. That's it, And,
hey Jerry, hey, let me interrupt for 1 second. Yes, talking art, it brings whole new definition to purchasing one's education.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna do that for the next one. I'm gonna have the debates on, and you guys can go ahead and break them down and see, how these guys, they don't know anything, and not only that, they don't know the history of the United States or how it, how special it is. This is something that I want people to understand too when they come to this channel, is that the United States is something special. It's not something that we should keep trashing or acting like it's worthless or whatever. I get it. There were things that happened early on that none of us agree with anymore, and we changed it. the people in this country changed it, and those people were of different colors, and we're going to continue being of different colors, and it's going to get more diverse, and we're going to be mixing up with people from Central America, South America, Africa. It doesn't matter, because right here we wanted people to come in from other countries.
Oh,
We made our
absolutely.
we
I mean, because
this
that was one of the things I shot Davy Boy down with last night. Was when I called him on his garbage and I pointed it out to him that it's like, hey, Davy,
well
I got some bad news for you, bro. I've spent more time in Latin America than you have, and I guarantee you, I've probably slept with more black women than you have. So shut it. And he didn't really have anything really to say after that, but nothing coherent anyway. Every time that I'd call him on something, it would take him like 5 to 10 seconds to be able to call me back on it. Hey, corrections, did you hear what I said?
No, I got booted there for a second.
Oh, I'll talk to the boss about that. But no, when I was shooting down Davy Boy again last night. Now you got to keep in mind I've gotten his ass 2 weekends in a row, and I had him on Frauditor Troll last Sunday. I had him and Brooklyn Audits.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yep.
Yeah,
it was
great. Yeah, and he's like, I'm a plumber. I'm like, dude, just because you bought a plunger does not mean you're a plumber.
Yeah, no, dude, it's like I told that other guy. I'm all like, numbers, right? You know how to add 1 + 1, right? He's all like, yeah. I'm all like, that doesn't make you a mathematician.
Nice. But no, I told Davy Boy last night when he was trying to hit us again with that white privilege. Actually, that's 3 weeks in a row I've gotten Davy Boy's ass. My apologies, but I told him last night, and I was like, "Look, dude, just before you start hitting me with any of that damn white privilege bullshit, bro, I've spent more time in Latin America than you have, and along with other continents, and I guarantee you, I've slept with more black women than you have. So shut it." And he couldn't come up with anything coherent anyway to hit me back with. And, I was like, dude, no. And he brought up, so they can, it's okay if they throw me out of a building just because I'm black. I'm like, okay, well, I didn't know you were black. My bad. I guess me and you had different color wheels growing up. That's okay. And then I told him, I was like, look, I tell you what I'll do. If that ever happens to you and you manage to get it on tape that you got bounced out of a building in New York because of your skin color, you shoot me that damn tape, and I promise you I will help you acquire an attorney to sue that place. I will, because I don't roll with that shit. And I was like, don't let the Texas accent fool you, dude. I was like, I'm not the one. You're hearing my little accent and you're thinking that you got some dumb hillbilly, and it ain't the case.
Which is technically a prejudice that he's bringing on too, which is the thing that just completely upsets me, and the reason why I lost so many friends over here, because I see the same prejudice that they put on other people in them, because they say
absolutely
they say these things. They say these things like, oh, that person is racist because of this and this and that, and it's like, you're already showing a prejudice by calling them that just because you think you know what they are, and you
exactly. And that, but here's the thing, is that while you are 100% right, bro, you can't explain logic and commonsensical things to somebody that has the IQ of a ferret on the damn with a meth habit. It's just not going to happen, man.
True.
And
you're right about that.
But here's the thing, and that's what makes you the good man that you are, Jerry, is that you keep fighting that fight. And I think you agree with what I just said, that some of these people, it's just wasted breath to even attempt to educate them to reality.
Yeah, that's why I said when I started this live, and I've been saying, when I do start lives and I start doing these shows or whatever, whenever these guys come, I'm not entertaining them. I'm not. If you're a frauditor, I'm just like Mark Stout. If you're a frauditor, I don't want nothing to do with you. I really don't. There's nothing. You haven't shown me any value. They haven't shown me anything that they're doing that would be productive, and none of them have a real motivation that's other than selfish. So I really don't want nothing to do with them. I'm not trying to be their friends. I'm not trying to like get them to come over here so I can figure out their perspective on things. Their perspective means nothing to me, and I don't want nothing to do with them. So if they come here, the only thing they're gonna get to do is to come on the chat and see if they're gonna act right, because all the mods that I'm gonna have are gonna kick them out the minute they start talking some crap, because I'm not here to entertain them. I'm not even gonna put their opinion. If they say something, just like Roll Nation was right here, I will never highlight anything he has to say. Never. I will never put his highlighted message will never come in here, and I won't let him super chat either. even if they could super chat, I wouldn't let them. That's how much I don't want to be associated with them at all. I don't care for them. They're not going to be a part of this show. They're not going to be on my broadcast. All I want is for people to know what they are, which are losers who are out there disrespecting people who don't deserve it. They go through too much shit. They do too much for them to go through the shit that they put them through. And I'm tired of it. And that's what I'm doing here.
And that's what makes you a good man, bro. And,
Yep.
you know, and it's not, and what makes you an exceptional man is not because of what you've done in the past. It's your ambition for what you want to do in the future and what you're doing in the present. That's what makes you good and exceptional man, Jerry. And corrections, I think the same, I think the same thing about you. And when it comes to gut feelings about people, I'm usually dead on unless, I have a emotional or sexual relationship with a woman, then apparently I've
they mess us all up, don't they?
We're gonna fuck you up.
Well, apparently I'm going for the world. Apparently I'm going for the world record.
I love you, ladies. That was not a sleight of hand. I love you, ladies, but y'all tend to make us stupid sometimes. So
I would say some of my biggest mistakes were made because I was chasing a woman. I would say that.
Well, it's not that women. It's not that. And talking art, please. I love you, darling. And this is not meant towards you. But it's not that women make men stupid. It's that a woman's parts makes a man stupid. And I think that was probably the least offensive way I can possibly say that. But it's a certain woman's part that makes men stupid.
Well, if I could be as unraunchy as I could possibly can and explain this, it's where the blood goes. Is when we're thinking about them. That's why. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna shut this down now. But thank you, Mike, Frauditor Wrangler. Looking forward to the stuff that you're gonna do. Thank you, Corrections, for being my co-host. I hope that we have a lot of fun here and that we not just, as much as I love, like expressing my opinion, I hope that I can express it in a little bit more comedic way next time and we can have more fun laughing and not just being angry. But this was just so you guys understand what this is going to be about. And so, Corrections, I'm going to leave the last word to you.
And hey, Jerry, if you don't mind, hey, Jerry, remember what we talked about on the description?
Oh, yeah, I got you. Don't worry.
Okay, I appreciate that because
yeah, no problem.
Yeah, because like I said, I don't. Because if I have to go to Georgia to defend family honor, I'm going to be pissed. Not at you. Like I said, I'm going to be pissed because that's going to be a lot of goddamn digging.
I got you, man. Don't worry. Go ahead,
but yeah, I still can't believe that, like I said, hey, go. And if y'all want to read it, go to the Georgia Transparency video that me and Frauditor dropped today, and go scroll down the comments, and you'll find it. You'll find it down there somewhere. It's got like 4 or 5 replies to it, and I actually got somebody with somebody's sock account with the fucking name sock account actually trying to tell me that Lana, that Georgia Transparency has knocked up Lana from J-Town Press.
We'll highlight it for the next show on the debates.
And I don't know if we want to do that because if that one gets out, that one could actually be misconstrued.
There'll be none of that here, man. Trust
me, I know that, but these two idiots have a tendency to go around and filing false privacy and copyright strikes. It would not be beneath them to hit us with some kind of a prejudice strike because they think we're making fun of a transgender person, because that's not what we're doing, but that's what they could interpret it and still file the strikes on us. And I don't want that. But yeah, like I said,
we'll figure it out. We'll play it by ear. No issue with that. Anyways,
look, I'm just old school. I'm the last of I'm on the tail end of my generation at 41. Behind the idiots we got now. And it's not that I'm woke. I mean, I'm not. I'm a little bit more culturally, refined than some of my predecessors just because of how I grew up.
I got you. You know what it is? You know what I call it? I call it being a 90s kid. When I grew up.
Yeah. I was born in 81.
No, you grew up in the 90s.
Born in what, 84, 85?
84.
Yeah. You said that you were 38, so back to your mathematician comment, one doesn't need to be one to figure that out.
I'm just saying, growing up in the 90s, we had a progressive view of things. We understood that we accepted people who were, like of different, sexualities and different religions and stuff like that. And we were ready to take on a more progressive stance on things because we understood that prejudices weren't good for nobody. It was like we should accept everybody for what they are. And so
we grew up on the tail end of the Cold War, and then the Gulf War happened, and then you had the 90s where nothing. I won't say nothing happened, but not as much happened as it has in our adult years. The 90s was mostly, the CIA, bumping people off like they were playing fucking Call of Duty.
And that's what I mean. That's what I mean is that there was a certain time when none of these certain like little racial things weren't as big as they started getting and aren't as big as they are now. And my perspective is, that's why I'm telling you, like, I'm not going to sit here and worry about, all the things that people worry about, because that's not my reality. My reality is not that people who are transgender or that are gay and stuff like that are having problems. They're having good lives and they're living good lives. They're not really as oppressed as they say they are. I'm not saying that there isn't any oppression, which is that stupid to think, right? Anybody who thinks that there's no prejudice or there's no racism is that's another type of reality that's not real.
Yeah, that's a type of naive that I've never even heard of.
Right, but the truth is that what I'm seeing and what I'm living is that's the reality isn't on the other side either. It's not that gay people.
Exactly. We at least acknowledged the Holocaust happened, whereas Rogue Nation still doesn't think it existed.
Oh my God, I don't even want to go down there. All right, well, I
thought that was a pretty good shot at Rogue Nation.
I felt you, but I like it's just too close to the farm on him. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
But
without
anyways,
further ado.
It was okay, now that one was good. We're let corrections have the last word on this one, and we got to get out of here because I believe Reaper was texting me right now, but I can't see the message.
You've got curfew. You got to be back in that well by 9:30.
She doesn't know I'm out.
She will when she does med check.
No, I think the three of us are going to be great. I think we're going to be really supportive of each other. I'm looking forward to just working with all of you and, getting to know each other more. And I think we're going to do a lot of good stuff. And any way that can help any of you, that would be great. And I'll ask the same in return. Hey, if you guys can help me, great. And Gary, you shoot Michael and the other name and cell phone number, that would be great. That way we can touch base too and just kind of get to know each other more too. And it's been a blast. I mean, this was a really good dialogue tonight.
I thought so. I really enjoyed it. And Jerry and corrections, just so everybody knows, my birthday is in May, and I like Lone Star, Dos Equis Green, and Jack Daniel's Frank Sinatra. And remember, Cuban cigars are legal now.
Well, my cigars are legal everywhere, I guess now too. Anyways,
well, they were until the last few years. Yeah, until the last few years, it would cost me about $40 a pop for a damn decent Cuban cigar because of the trade embargo.
I feel you. All right. Well, gotta end this. It's been super fun, man. I absolutely enjoyed both of y'all.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I hope that you guys can share and like I said, to me, it's not so much about the people who are on while we're on. It's more or less as long as we can get the word out there and people listen. To me, that's all that matters. I could care less if I get big channels, numbers, whatever. The only thing I care about is that somebody heard it. That's it.
Absolutely. And let me say this before we dump out, and y'all can tell Reaper I said this. Reaper team, assemble. Oh, and just say, hey guys, and Dr. Dave is going to be making Goat Boy a project again.
Oh boy,
we're gonna have more to talk about. All right. Well, I hope everybody has a good night, and if you're from Reapers, I hope to see you over there.
I'll see you and talking art over at Reapers. I don't know if you're going over corrections. I don't know what your schedule is tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll see you here in a bit. I'm going to take out the dog here real quick before we get on there. So,
all right, you guys have a good one then.
All right, I'll see you shortly, buddy.
Yeah, like, share. Remember, guys, like and share.
Yeah, definitely subscribe to this channel, guys. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you guys. Peace.
Everybody have a good one.
Yep.
Cientos.